Oh boy. All right, they asked for it. I have mahogany roots. How are you today, sis?
I am wonderful.
So, let's just get right into it. Do you think that I know for a fact the average person that consumes content has no idea of how much of a struggle it is to be a content creator. Can you explain the situations, the troubles, the struggles you've gone through as a content creator?
I think the biggest struggle for me, honestly, has been balancing the time allotted for family,
Okay.
and the time allotted just to live stream our time to support other content creators. You really have to limit your time on here. I think it's healthier. So just time management.
So what do you so we're talking behind the scenes, like, so my wife would be like, I will reveal stuff about myself to random strangers, and she would be like really, and I'd be like, oops. Or the saying is, it's easier to talk to strangers than people you know, and that does ring true. Do you have those issues as well, that you reveal stuff to, and families like, I didn't know you were like this, like, why didn't you tell us?
I feel like my family knows me pretty well. I'm pretty goofy. Like they know me, but they are surprised by some of my behavior because I'm not quite the same. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't cuss at home,
You
but I have
don't.
no, no, no,
I'm
absolutely.
making it.
My mom would never. I would never. She would pop me in the mouth. A Southern girl never do that in front of her parents. Yeah.
Yeah, but this YouTube thing brings something out of us, that a whole other side. Now, I've seen you go ham on people. I just be like, oh no, Lord, what is? And then we're like, is that how she really is? And it's hard for us to kind of separate what we're seeing from on camera versus how you are in your home life.
Well, it's just like because I was watching you the other day, which I've been watching, for a while. But I think it was the one where you were talking. Never mind. I watched you the other day, and you had mentioned that you were concerned about new people seeing you in the heat of the moment and thinking that's how you are all the time, and
Yeah.
you apologize. It's the same thing with me. People who are really like, I've got some mods, maybe they'll come through today. Third Ward, Leo Anthony, they've been with me for like 7 years, almost since I started my channel.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of others. They literally have Third Ward. I think he's been almost at every live stream. So they know me so much that they know, okay, if she's acting like this, she's upset, something has went on.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So, however you want to go with this, the last month or so, let's say, for us YouTubers in certain spaces, there's been a lot of bickering per se, and back. Okay, let me just come out and say, how weird are these people on YouTube to you? Let's just come out and say it.
Pretty weird. I'm
Okay,
not gonna lie, pretty weird. It's
are
not
you
normal. It's not normal behavior. Mhm.
are you surprised at this point though?
Not at this point, but when I first came on, and I think me and you spoke about this in the past, like the whole manosphere concept was really strange to me because
Okay,
I'm a very sheltered. I grew up in the church girl, just kind of a lot of this. Well, it wasn't brand spanking new because even though I was sheltered and stuff, I also was raised by my grandmother, so I had a lot of traditional values and stuff. So it wasn't all spanking new, and I
okay.
have uncles and brothers, but just the behavior, yeah, it was very surprising, especially when you look at the analytics. It's adults, it's older people in this space.
So where did you see it go left or go wrong? Where was the moment for you? You're like, oh, yeah, they're doing too much, or they're going off the rails. It's where did the red flags come in for you?
For me, when well, you mean the like who the content creators, the people in the chat room?
All of it.
Well, when I knew it was time for me to kind of back up off of the content is when the content, the man, a lot of the content became that I would go from one channel to channel to channel, and they would all be talking about the same thing. They
Okay.
would all be talking about Black women, and it was all negative. I'm gonna be honest, and a lot of Black women in space have told me that it affects their self-esteem because they don't ever hear about anything positive about Black women. And here they are looking in the mirror and they're a Black woman. So over time, that can eat at a person. So that's when I started to back away from watching so much of the content. And eventually I watched very little of it to none, only for, maybe some laughs. And then as far as the people in the chat room, I have learned, and I will give any new content creator this advice. You're going to, like me, I'm a social bird. I'm a social butterfly. I'm a friendly person by nature. I'm outgoing. I love people to death. So when people reach out to me, I want to give them my number. I want to say, yeah, do this, contact me. That's not always the wisest thing. I would recommend that you keep it very professional. Use your email. If you do Instagram, just remember to keep it professional, because everybody on this thing does not have ethics or morals. They will
Right.
record you. They will do all kinds of stuff to you.
So getting back to the content, when you saw it, it made you feel a way. But when you went outside your house, you
Mm-hmm.
got different reactions. So
Mm-hmm.
now, should that be the more bigger validation? Like, okay, when I go outside my house, and these men fall at at my feet. So maybe what they're saying online is not the case.
Oh yeah, I don't pay attention. I never did. I will say that because I got self-esteem. I never did pay attention. Why would I pay attention to strangers online when I, like, the people that should matter to us, all of us in our everyday lives, are the people that are up under our roofs, our
Mhm.
families, our friends, people that are actually in our lives. To me, YouTube and social media is very separate. Now, it can cross over if you're blessed and you find someone that you can meet friends. I will say that I have met people that I consider to be my friends, but be careful with that, and take your time with that.
Mhm.
The people that I consider my friends have known me for years.
So okay, so let's go and do a quick segue into that part. Um, so you wanted to address some things that I said, how your certain interactions you had looked to me. So here's how it looked to me. I'm sitting here like, okay, this guy here who comes online and has nothing but the less flowery words, no nothing positive to say about black women,
Mhm.
as a black woman at home, and yet every interaction with you, it's like this, it's like the honeymooners, and I'm like, so is this his way of flirting? And then I'm looking at you like, okay, why are you putting up with this shit? So what's really going on? So for me, I was looking, I'm like, okay, just go ahead and get a room, because this is the only way it can only lead to one thing. But that was my point of view. So tell me where I went wrong.
Well, when you said, why don't you two go get a room? I swear to you, Super Slide, I almost choked. I was eating lunch in my car and I almost choked. I said, oh, no, he didn't. Because everybody knows, I've talked about it. It's a part of my channel. My family is a part of my channel. I was in a long-term relationship. And so I was a little, not, I know you, so I wouldn't get insulted by anything you say, because I don't,
Mhm,
the intentions behind it, and I don't believe you had any malintentions.
mhm.
But it was just shocking to hear you say that, just because anybody that knows me knows that I'm not looking for, especially not a married man on YouTube.
Not even the married man part aside, but I just don't. I didn't think you would engage.
Oh.
Every interaction it turns into this, and I'm like, 'cause you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't put up with this shit in real life. Right. So I'm like, well, why is she entertaining this shit right now? Like, what's going
What
on?
happened?
Yeah, yeah,
Let me.
yeah, yeah.
Did you see my last two videos where I addressed him, the loser, and so forth?
I saw the one.
Okay.
After, yeah, I saw the one. I didn't catch the second one. So give me up to speed.
Well, like, he went on another channel. So I met him through Reg, and we both frequent Reg. I like Reg. Um, but he was up there saying what I believe he's a troll, to be honest. He can say he's not, but to me, he's a troll.
Okay.
Um, when you get up on the panel and you distract from what the host is talking about, that's what you're doing. You're trolling. So
Hmm.
anyway, he would say things that I obviously disagreed with. He calls black women Keishas. That's fine. A lot of black men in here do. That's a acronym, I guess, for them. But basically, he would say a lot of messed up stuff about black women. It wasn't just I don't like them or I don't mess with them. It was, you know, their vagina smell like bologna, and the white woman's vagina smells like lemon pledge. And I was like, is this dude serious? So I think at first it was a laughing type of thing,
Uh-huh.
but then I think I probably did start to get offended, and he just wouldn't stop because he's a troll, and that's what he's supposed to do. And that's how the banter between us started, and it just escalated.
Okay, for me, once again, I would I would kind of put this under the umbrella of some type of mental illness, because you can't have this much hate for a gender of a race of women,
Mm-hmm.
and then either you have this woman in your home, or you've gone out of your way to get something completely separate from that, and
Mm-hmm.
then still have time and energy and all this vitriol. Okay, we get it. Black women are fucked up. Now what? That's my approach to it. So now what are you gonna do?
Well, I never believed it. I think it's absolute nonsense. Just like when a lot of the men in this space, I'm gonna be honest, and a lot of us women have discussed this. I cannot talk about something every day that I don't care about.
Right.
I wouldn't. I just could not put energy into something every day that I don't care about. So even when I see these men or women doing that, I know that's a facade. So when he would bring up the Keishas and have all these negative things to say, I'm thinking to myself, well, you have them on the brain. And so it really would go honestly in one ear and out the other. But it was the disrespectfulness. That's when things really went left. So one minute he would be cool and respectable, and the next minute he wouldn't be. And I don't even remember exactly what tripped it off. But for me, like he would watch my videos too. I was talking about my weight gain. I had surgery. He would
Hmm.
go over there and he would go back, tell it to Reg. He was like, yeah, she
Oh
just had
wow.
surgery. Yeah, soon, like, so I knew. He'd be like, yeah, she just had surgery. And and then him and sometimes another character in the chat, they were like, I'll just say the name Warren. They were in the chat discussing
I
me.
have no beef with Warren.
No,
Warren
I
Blanchard
don't
is
either. I
definitely.
don't. Listen, him and Danini are my
I have
two first. I'm just saying. I'm just calling names. But him and Warren were in the chat room discussing my weight gain. Joshua discussed my quote unquote defective vagina. That's why I had to have surgery. He was all up in my business.
mm,
But you trying to get close to this defective vagina. You seem to be obsessed with this defective vagina.
mm,
Instead of texting your wife in the middle of the day, you watching Mahogany Roots, honey. So explain that to me, honey. I ain't worried about you calling me. I'm 45 years old, Sly. I'm almost 46. I'll be 46 in 4 months. I'm a grown, may I use a little bit of cuss word? I'm a
yes,
grown
yes.
ass woman. And I always say this sitting on grown ass coochie. Your little words, seriously, your little
No, go
words,
ahead.
Colin, it's not going to bother me to the point where I'm going to get upset. Ooh, he's talking about my coochie. Excuse me, when have you gotten close to my coochie? But I was upset about it because I'm like, look at this whole ass. Like, look at this. Look at this person. I'm gonna try and keep it clean. Because I want you to keep this up. But look at this dude. Like, are you serious? Is this what real men do? Be in my face smiling. Hey, Miss Mahogany. Oh, you look so lovely, Miss Mahogany. And then over there talking about my defective coochie. So it was too much for me. And I'm a very confrontational person. I'm a nice person, but I'm confrontational. I've been in the military 10 years, and that's just the way I am. So if I have an issue, I'm going to say something to you. So we
Mm.
would always get back and go back and forth.
Well, what I had a problem with was the slur towards your woman parts, because that's part of what defines a woman. And
Hmm.
if there's issues down there, that can wreck a woman's whole self esteem as how she sees herself. And for someone to go out of their way to attack, and she's having issues with that has nothing to do with her, that's out of her control. That's like that's some lowbrow shit
Well,
for
he
me.
was trying to hurt me. And he even knew because I had mentioned it because my channel, y'all, is different. It's low ratchet, but you do get a little bit of education over there. You get a lot of different things over there. But if you actually pay attention, I do believe I put out pockets of good information. I try to anyway. And anyway, I had talked about my IVF process. How many
Yeah.
black, you would think more black people, because not too many of us go through the process, would have questions about what's it like to go through IVF. I get very little questions about it.
Okay.
Sister George, shout out to Sister George and Concrete. They interviewed me about what's it like going through IVF and embryo process and all that. You would think that I would get more questions about just some of the things I've been through that I've shared with people, but I get very little questions. And it's crazy.
You think it's based in shame or embarrassment for them to reach out and ask you? Because then that would put the spotlight on them?
No, I honestly think there's a lack, like you were talking about it in your live stream, there's a lack of interest in anything intellectual.
Okay.
There's a lack of interest in anything that you can actually learn from that's educational.
Okay.
And I've partaken in it too, God knows, but we like the kind of the foolishness sometimes as Black folks, but we have to really get out of that, because there's so many of us smaller YouTubers that are putting out good information. Can I tell you one example?
Yes.
When Kevin Samuels, I'm gonna bring it up. When Kevin Samuels first made it big, and I was just listening to some of the things that the men were saying, because I was wondering, why were these women calling into this man that didn't have a lick of experience? I'm not as no counselor or anything to be giving relationship advice. And they would say, well, it's an opportunity for them to, he could match make them and, a higher value man and all this. And I'm thinking, I have been on my channel. And at that time I was traveling with one of the most respectful surgeons. I was working in his dental office, and we had been traveling all over the East Coast. He'd been sending us to sedation courses and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, you guys want to, what do you call it, a high value man? I see high value men all the time. Why aren't y'all asking me questions about this? You guys are asking a stranger. He's telling you you can never get a high value man. And I'm telling you, I've seen the wives of these doctors. None of them are supermodels.
Yeah, regular schmegular. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not. But most of them do meet their wives in college or in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think your transparency, you being so transparent about your life and what you go through, you think that has come back to kind of bite you in the ass to a certain extent?
A little bit, but I can honestly say that I've been through so much, Sly, that I'm strong. I feel I'm definitely strong enough that I can take it, because I feel like if the things in the world didn't tear me apart and rip me apart, some strangers on YouTube, what can they do to me? Honestly.
Okay.
I still have a roof. I still have money in the bank. They don't. You know what I'm saying? I still have loved ones that care about me. A lot of these people don't. So I'm just grateful. I'm not trying to, squat on anybody, but
no, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Your former military.
Yes.
What was the decision for you to join? Why?
I did it at random, but it was for my family. We were in a financial crisis. My husband at the time, my son's father. I was married for like 13 years.
Okay.
But my son's father, he had his own construction company, and he hurt himself real bad. And he was getting, we were waiting on his disability check to come through. I was working, but I was working minimum wage. When I met him, I was young. I had gotten a GED, but I wasn't making much money, so we needed money. And I had mentioned it to him, and he was like, no wife of mine is going to do that. I did that because he's a veteran. And he was like, I did that, so you don't have to do that. We'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't take it. I just got tired of feeling swamped with the bills. So one day I packed the baby up. We had already had my son, and I just went to the recruiting station. And I said, I do. And he was not happy with me at that time, but we were in danger of losing our house and everything we had, because we didn't have a lot of money. We could barely pay the mortgage, and I would do anything for my family.
I wasn't expecting that. Okay. So 10 years in, your experience is overwhelmingly positive, or would you recommend young women and men get into the military? Or
for sure. The reason I'm sitting, not that this is a mansion, but it ain't bad. I got 2 walk-in closets, just myself. I'm just saying, the reason I'm able to sit here, a girl that came, I won't say I came from nothing, but because my mom did the best she can, but I came from humble beginnings.
Okay.
The reason I'm able to sit here like this is because of my VA loan. And so there's benefits that almost, I think, well, yeah, all as long as you honorably discharge, there's benefits that the government offers you through the military that are wonderful.
Hmm.
Take advantage. And one of them is the home VA loan, guaranteed home VA loan with no money down. If you don't, you can put money down, but
Hmm.
you don't have to have money down, and it's guaranteed approval.
Now, was that the plan for you to stay in for 10 years? Because that's a pretty long time.
I wanted to, I should have, I kind of regret not retiring because most of my family, my uncles and stuff, they are retired.
Okay.
And it's worth it. I mean, they don't have to work. He honestly works just because. And when he retires from that job, he'll have, like, he could just sit back and get a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're set for life. So I wish I had stuck that out. Thinking about it now,
Yeah.
otherwise, me and my son, we could really be. But it's okay. Like I said, I went off, played GI Jane, and my husband at the time didn't want to move. I was stationed a few places, but my last duty station was El Paso, Texas. He didn't want to move to Texas,
Okay.
and so basically, I'm losing it. I'm sorry.
No,
What?
you your last station was El Paso. He didn't
Yeah, it
want to
was.
move. Yeah.
He didn't want to move. There was a point I was going with the super sly. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What was the original question?
Shit. So we're both going the same thing. Well, let me ask you this: what was your enlistment? Was that part of the reason why your marriage is no more to him, or
I won't blame it on that, but military life is hard. It's hard on families, men and women. I can tell you some stories, honey, where infidelity from the long distance,
yeah?
and the military spends a lot of money. I went to a lot of the retreats. They do what they call marital retreats for soldiers, and I went to several of them. They're worth it.
Okay.
You can get counseling, but group counseling with other married folks. Um,
See, I didn't know they did all this. I
oh
had
yeah.
no clue.
Oh, we had a good time. Even though, yeah, we had a good time, and it's free, it's paid for. But it really depends on your leadership because they're the ones who do it.
Okay.
Your commanders, your first sergeants, they're the one who gets it approved, and um, I didn't make an announcement that we were having issues. I think one of my NCOs just came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to go? You're married. Do you want to go?" And I said, "Sure." And we went for a weekend, got somebody to watch the baby, and
Hmm.
we spent a weekend out on the beach listening to courses, doing little personality tests and stuff like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did that help at all, or did it just kind of just prolong the inevitable for you?
I'll put it to you this way: it helps if you wanted to help. For Oh, that's what the question was. You were asking if that's why my first
Yeah.
marriage ended. So I'm gonna go back, but no, it only helps if you wanted to help because
Okay.
people can give you advice all day. But guess what? If you don't think you have a problem, you don't take the advice. It's not gonna help you. If it takes two, if you're a team, you and your wife are a team. But if only one of you are working on, it just doesn't work if both people aren't working on things.
Hmm.
And I felt like I was working a little bit more, but we didn't leave. I will say this: me and my son's father did not end our relationship on bad terms. We talk almost every day to this day.
Wait. Okay. Wait. I hate when y'all do this. Not you, but I hate when you marry young and about 10 years in, you get a divorce. Now all of a sudden everybody's the best friends. Well, then why would you not reconnect and try it again as older, wiser, more mature adults?
Well, for us, we when we were married, we were about to kill each other in there, and I didn't like what it was doing to my son. It didn't. Well, I won't say it never got physical. Like nobody was getting their butt whipped. But as you can tell, Sly, I do have a bit of a temper. So,
Just a little bit.
like, furniture was shuffling around. Furniture was moving around there. Okay, I will say that. And then I just didn't want my son to see it, and we didn't want our son to see that because neither one of us grew up like that. He grew
Okay.
up. He had two parents. I only had one. My father died when I was a baby, but I grew up around lots of love, aunties, uncles, and all that. So we didn't want our son growing up with that nonsense. Mhm.
Okay, but you guys never got to a point. You guys, are, like I said, older now. All the issues have been worked out, and everyone did their self reflection, self
We've tried it
view.
a bunch of times, but a lot of stuff happened. I mean, So I mean, just over the years, because we stayed together quite long. I mean, over a decade.
Okay.
And also, there were other factors. My son's father is way older than me, so there
Mm.
was a huge age gap. That was really, honestly, if I'm being honest, it was the age gap. We did, after you get out the bed, you got to have something in common with the person. That's why these men that be running around talking about they want a younger woman, I don't think they know what they're asking for.
But isn't that more of a biological thing to for older men to just naturally be attracted to younger women?
I think, well, I'm older, and I feel like I don't. Well, I don't want to say that, because how young we talking? You know
Oh
what
no,
I mean?
okay, so we're talking a 50-year-old man. If she's 25, I get it. If he's 45 and she's 25, 23, 24, I get it. I get it. But there's a process when you're trying to date the person. Now, if you marry somebody when they're 20, that means you were dealing with them when they were 17, 18, 19. Then it's like, I don't know. But so it, to me, it always came across as more of a biological thing. Like the older always sought the younger for whatever reason.
I don't know, but I'm not a man. I'm not in a man's head.
Okay.
Because I'm old as hell, and these young boys be chasing after my ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. I be got to sit down, go over there, sit over there with the kids.
Okay. Well,
So
well, I'm glad you said that. So I had a theory for these younger men that incelish, possible incels that have no interaction with women within their own demographic. I say bring in the older women to kind of train them up along, get them some interaction on how to deal with the woman, get their little cherry pop, and that will reduce these guys growing up angry, frustrated, bitter at women their age, because they're choosing older guys to be for the most part. You, what do you say
how
to
do I?
that?
I think it's, well, because of the conversations that I've heard in this space, things like use older women because they can't get pregnant, so you can shoot up the club, and like, no, I'm
That
not
would
going to
not
tell
be
my
my reason
I'm not
for it.
going to tell my older sisters to put themselves, because when you look into I am in the medical field slash dental field. When you look at the stats with elderly people, they're coming down with diseases. So yeah, I'm not going to tell older women to let their bodies be used by young men so they can go off and marry a young heifer. Heck
I,
no, we got hearts too.
well, let me rephrase that. You take a section of older women that want nothing, if they have that still nurturing instinct and they kind of gravitate towards younger men, okay, let these women be the ones that kind of, school them in the ways of life and love, and, help them learn how to deal with women and have a decent amount of respect for women. Because, you're talking about a young guy that's not getting any by the time he's 25, there's some rewiring that's already taken place, and he's already hating the women of his age bracket because they're off doing God knows what, and he has no experience of at all. So I would say bring in the older women that are willing to do it, that don't want nothing in return. They don't want a family. They just, like, well, I
We
still
have
kind of want,
hearts.
yeah, I want to put them on my titty and help them out.
Well, this is this is what I say to that. I do understand, and I do understand what you're saying. I had a little brother that passed,
Okay.
and me and him were super close, best friend. That's one of the things that brought me on YouTube. Did I probably told you that story too. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I came on YouTube. Um, so he would talk to me all the time. He was a very shy young man and scared to talk to girls. And, he would tell me these stories about how he opened the door for a young lady today and how rude she was, and she didn't even say thank you. And
Hmm.
so I get it. I understand. And I would just always say something like, well, you were raised a certain way. Don't let that person's behavior affect your behavior. You were raised a certain way to have manners, so you conduct yourself. Doesn't matter what the other person is doing.
Hmm.
How are you? You have to answer for your behavior.
Hmm.
So you continue to be a gentleman. If she wants to be a rude shopper, that's her business. Okay, she gonna get what she deserves, but you continue to be a gentleman. Doesn't matter how she behaves, and you keep it moving. But basically, um, what I think about that is, for me personally, I have dated a younger guy. I will say this: for men, some younger men are. mature and some aren't, just like some older men are mature and some aren't.
Mhm.
I will say this, I didn't mind teaching and guiding, but to be honest, whenever you're in a relationship, especially a new one, whether you're older or younger, whatever, there's going to be a lot of teaching and guiding because you're trying to learn each other.
Right.
And then I don't think it's a place though. I don't think it was my place to mother him. I don't want to mother you and can I be frank and
Yes,
screw
yes,
you?
yes,
I
yes.
don't want to mother you and jump on you in the middle of the night. Something feels wrong about that. I would feel like I'm molesting my child. Like, no, I want to be your woman. I don't want to have to teach you every little thing. So that's really something that should be done by the women, if not the mother, the women in the family, the older sisters, the aunts, and stuff like that. But I don't feel like it's my job as your girlfriend to have to teach you everything because I don't want to feel taken advantage of. And like I said, I have a heart.
Okay. I'm
Mhm.
with you, but mama and auntie can only teach a young man so much in regards to actual interactions with the woman.
Well, what I mean, what? Well, he's going to have to learn those things out on just out there. Listen. We're all susceptible. We're all susceptible to getting hurt, but that's a part of life, right? That pain, you need to feel it. I tell my son that all the time. If you get through life and you don't have no downfalls, you're not living life. You got to go through things.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Why is it only women understand the plight of men when they have a son? I've lost count of all the women I've known, and women. You hear these men online complaining, whatever how you want to phrase it, right?
Mhm.
And then it's not until they have a son, then it's like, oh my god, these women out here are terrible. Oh, we're not. So I'm like, well, bitch, were you not terrible to somebody else's child? So
But you know what? It's the same thing. I'm not trying to flip it, but it's the honest truth. I can hear the men. I can tell you have a daughter.
yeah.
I can tell the men that don't have no daughters because they're the ones saying crazy stuff. They're the ones saying, let's start getting them at 12 and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can tell the people who have the parents that have children, of a certain sex.
Hmm.
You just can, men with daughters tend to be a lot more sensitive because they spend that time, they're learning as they're raising that child, and they can start to see, hey, she's so emotional just like her mother was, and they can start to understand it better. Same thing with like me being around my brother and being so close to him.
Hmm.
Like if he had not expressed that to me that day, he was so upset by that. His feelings were hurt, and he said, like, why should I keep on doing this if people are gonna, like, if the girls are gonna keep on being rude to me.
Hmm.
And that's when I told him what I told him, and that's just the honest truth. Tried to give him the best advice that I could. But I don't think you have to have a child. Like, I don't have to have a daughter to care about young girls and women. um, I think if you're sociable, I also have nieces, and then I have close friends with daughters that I'm a godmother, and then I also work with kids. I work with a lot of kids. I see,
So you
and
see already, you see the problems already. You're on the forefront. You see what's coming in the next couple of generations already.
just like you.
Yeah, and I'm petrified.
Well, see, I'm an optimistic person. Are you optimistic?
No, it's all scorched earth. It's all.
I
Yeah.
know. And peace to the chat. I can't see y'all. I chose for the sake of being a good panelist. I chose not
I
to
know
look at.
my chat's cool. They know we none of that. You ain't gotta worry about no. I'm not big on nobody else's channel, but you ain't gotta worry about that.
I don't know. See, I would be picking on me a little bit. Hey, I know. I ain't even got to see her. I know Miss Carrie D up in the
Yeah, yeah,
building.
yeah, 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 yeah. Wow, wow. So, oh yes, 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 yes. So we were talking online presence. Okay, how much of your online presence is you?
I think all of it's me. That's the thing. I think it's all of it's me. When I'm upset, when I'm going off, I just had somebody call me the B word like 2 or 3 times. When I'm going off, I just had somebody talking about my decrepit vagina after I'm sharing with my subscribers what I went through and how I went through an IVF process. How I had fibroid surgery. My thing is, if you're not there to support, like you were saying, why are you there? Just move along. You should
Well,
not be here. You don't belong here.
Here's what's weird to me. Being married, I've learned about all the female issues that they have with their bodies. I got a sister that has endometriosis. I never
Mm-hmm.
knew about this stuff, so I would not go out of my way to attack a woman's private parts, knowing some of this shit causes some irreversible damage to the point where it would, you know, it's like if a woman can't have kids, it's like she's useless. Like the society. Well, hear me out. Society. In some societies, that's her only goal in life. Like the women be like, "Girl, where's your? You ain't got no kids yet." I was
It
catching
is.
hell. I was. I remember I was in my 30s, and there were
Mm-hmm.
people asking, Why did you have kids? What's wrong with you?" And women were asking me this. I'm like, "What do you mean? What's wrong with me? I don't have kids."
Mm-hmm.
And then I understood certain societies, like if you're not, having children, it's just like, okay, where's your value? What's your worth? So I would never go out of my way to attack a woman's, female parts because I understand through my wife, like y'all's body can turn on y'all on your dime and create all types of havoc
Mm-hmm.
that you wouldn't even understand what they're going through. So I'm highly sensitive to that. So I would never attack a woman's, inability to do this or that or whatever the case may be. Is what I'm saying
It's
makes sense.
like the people that do this type of stuff, like you were talking about, they don't come on camera. They don't produce it. They say anything. There's a YouTuber that had, I keep on talking about this dude. I cannot remember his name, but he had like almost 1 million subscribers and he was flipping pizza. He was online pretending to be almost a millionaire and all this stuff, showing all
Are you
this fake stuff,
serious?
rented cars and
What?
stuff. Yeah. And he was not, he worked at like Pizza Hut or something. Like, so why would I, somebody that's sitting on something, got stuff going for herself, and I know I got good coochie. I mean, let's be honest. That's why, that's why he was waiting in the wings. And I'm sure his weak ass is gonna go talk about it. But you know what, nigga, you deserve this because you talked about me enough. But why would I care what these people online that, especially when they don't show themselves? Oh, you got to be kidding me, honey. You got to produce something for me to give a damn about what you talking about over there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned the online personality presence for a reason because it seems to me that some people are offended by your presence for whatever reason. So I say to myself, well, if this happens to her online, I'm more than sure this probably happens to her in real life, even
Yeah.
if it's out of her control. So what do you think that is? Why do you think that's so?
But it doesn't happen to me in real life. It's so funny. It's like me and you are reading each other's mind kinetically because I was thinking about the topics that you sent me.
Uh-huh.
And I was just, like I said, this is a constant conversation. I talk to my other older brother on a regular basis, and he laughs at my sisters. They laugh. They have such a kiki. I could call them, like I said, I won't, but I could call them, and they will tell you, like, she's. There's a video. I can't remember where, but there's a video where me and my brother are working out, and I said, "You won't believe this, but these people think I'm a bee." And he said, "What? You?" He was like, "You're one of the nicest people I know. You're one of the sweetest people I know, unless they make you mad."
Okay.
So I just, we all have sides to us, and so that part is a side. We've all had that side. I've seen it in you.
What do you mean? What you talking about? What you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me.
Oh, hey, Anna Simone. Good to see you, sweetie. Good to see you.
Let me move this chat real quick. Okay, okay. Um, so it's them, then it's not you.
I know what it is like right now. We
Okay,
haven't been talking for very long.
right.
I feel closer to you, and I'm sure you feel closer to me. The problem is when these people see me, I'm up on somebody's panel. And what is happening, particularly a lot of times in this space where it's male dominated, you're getting cut off. You're not really getting heard. I've been on it's happened to me 2 or 3 times where I have said something and a man will come up. It happened to me, and I love Information Man. I was up on the panel. I don't want to say the show, but I'll say it. I was on Black Men on Frontal show, and I said they were talking about the whole Diddy thing, and some of the men were trying to make excuses for it. And I was like, well, I just basically said that that's foolishness. Anyway, he was caught with guns with serial numbers scratched off of him and all this. So it was a heated debate. I said that. And then Information Man, whom I love to pieces, got up there, said the same thing all nicely and politely and calmly. And the women agreed. I won't say they attacked me. They did not like me. But when he came up there, a lot like your handsome self, came up there all smooth and calm. They were like, "Oh yeah, information. Oh, he's so smart and he's so wise." And I'm like, "I just said that." So it's the space we're in. We're on panels. You're getting a very passionate part of me. You're not getting all these other diverse parts of me.
Okay, because I have somebody in mind that you may know who I'm referring to as to why I don't understand why they see you in such a negative light, and
Okay.
the interactions you guys have, it's not positive.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, I guess I would have to ask that person, like, well, okay, what is it about her that irritates you so much? Like, what is she?
Who is it?
Nah, I don't want to do all
Oh,
that.
you can't say.
I
Oh,
mean, I can, but I don't want to, because when I say shit,
is it the
people,
person we were talking about
it's
that
a
was
woman.
talking about my vagina?
It's a woman.
And I have had negative interactions with her. I
Yeah.
usually get along with women. I actually like women.
Nah,
Not like,
this one particular woman clearly does not like you for whatever reason.
are you? You got to tell me who this
No,
is.
wait, Mahogany, wait. Every time you get on this panel and she's in the chat, she goes out of her way to tell you how much she doesn't like you.
Oh,
Yeah.
and she's sexy. Is she sexy?
I, I, if you like them like that, yeah, sure, yeah.
Is she red?
Blue, green, purple, yellow.
Oh, sexy, love me. Sexy, what you want? Is she down there saying hello
No,
to
no,
me?
no, no. She just comes to mind, like, because every time I'm
She
in the
loves me.
clouds.
Let me do a ditty. She loves me.
Oh my lord.
Oh,
Okay,
you know
we're
she loves
we're
me.
not here to start anything. We're just having a conversation. This is
No,
all
she loves
fiction.
me.
This is all fiction.
She loves me just like oh boy loves me. You know, they just love to see Mahogany. They get mad. I think that people get mad when they don't see me. So they want to see me. So but when they don't see me, they get a little cranky and they just act up a little bit in the chat. I think that's all. But no, seriously, me and that woman have never had a problem. I don't have a problem with her. She just made some comments about my 12-year relationship that I did not appreciate. And then I saw that she had a banter back and forth with that person. And I was like, girl, I don't want that person. If I don't date married men. So if you want him, he's all yours, honey.
Right.
And he liked Redbone too. So
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you: do
sure.
you believe in monogamy?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I don't judge you. Remember, we talked
Well, no,
about
no, it's not. It's not about me. No, no, no. Do you
okay.
believe that most men are naturally monogamous?
So that's a difficult one because I've heard some men say claim no, but I know men that they claim yes and they're very much are so yes. I think, can I tell you what I think
Yes,
honestly?
please, yes.
Just like women are individuals, I think men are individuals. I think you have men that are very, very sexual, and I'm not even judging it. There's some men that because I'm how do I explain this without being too long-winded?
No, go ahead. Take your
I
time. Take your time.
am a person that's very free thinking and try not to be judgmental. So I'm okay with the person being sexual, whether they're a man or a woman,
Okay.
as long as you kind of pair with somebody that's your speed. I
Okay.
think that's perfectly fine. What the problem comes in when you might be very highly sexual and you pair with somebody that's not, that's when the problem kicks in. And then you try to make them something they're not, or they try to do stuff for you to please you, and that's when all the problems come in. But if you highly sexual and you pair with somebody else that's a freak too, it's all good. But I think some men are more sexual than others and they feel that they need that. However, I have also met men. This is one brother I know. I told him, I said he needs to seek some help. His wife used to call me in tears because he had a serious sex addiction. And wasn't he? That's what it was. He had a sex addiction. Him and his wife, and this is her words, they could just make love, like just make love. But he was always touching himself. He was always looking at porn. It didn't matter what she did. Didn't matter. They could have had sex 5 times that day. Had sex so much that her whole bottom hurt, felt like it was going to fall to the bottom. He still wanted sex, and that's not normal. What are you and me? But you can't get no job. but you on the couch. And I told her, I said, well, what you giving him all this sex for? What he doing for you? He ain't even keeping a roof over your head. You don't, sex is reward. I'm going to be honest. And you don't reward a person with sex that ain't doing nothing for you. But you screw a homeless man. He not doing nothing for you, but you screwing this man. So I just, but yeah, he definitely had a sexual addiction. But some people have higher sexual appetites. And so one woman might not be enough, but just make sure that the woman is okay with it. If they're okay with it, then I don't have a problem with it. Me personally, I am way too possessive,
Okay.
a little bit. I don't want to say that I'm crazy because I'm not really crazy, but I can act a fool.
Okay.
So I don't, it's not good for me. I'll end up in jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the thin line between love and hate. That's you.
I can be if you push me. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that most men, to keep the woman happy, suppress that part of themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's a show that I watch. Sly, I promise when I find it, I'll try and remember. He's a doctor. He has a YouTube show, but he's a real psychologist or something. But his show is very good. But there, if you type in "sexless marriage," that's pretty much his topic all the time.
Okay.
Because I did a show on sexless marriage because I was in a sexless marriage. I was in a sexless relationship for a lot of people go through that. When you're working, when you're going through the day-to-day humdrum life, you got kids, you got, like I told you, I'm taking care of my elderly mother. You got other stuff on your mind.
Right.
And a lot of times with us, because people don't like it when I say this, but I do not think naturally women are as sexual as men. I just don't think we are. We can be. Like,
hell no. Hey, wait.
Well, maybe.
No.
Okay.
We were here.
I'm not saying that we don't get horny or anything like that, but I feel like, okay, for what I'm saying is I can go without sex for a while and be all right. I think if y'all went without sex, exactly, y'all would lose your minds. With us, it's not. It's like, okay, give me a hot pocket and a nice book and I'm good.
I highly disagree. Highly. Like this generation of woman through the Super Saiyan sexual. Like they're,
and they're not getting, and what's sad, throwing all that coochie around, all that coochie, and they ain't getting hardly nothing out of it. My thing is, if you're going to throw coochie, see, I grew up with old school women. If you're going to throw coochie, get something out of it. Whether it gets something that you want out of it. If it's a ring, if it's a baby, if it's a house, get something out of it. Don't just throw coochie and the man ain't even bought you a Popeye's chicken sandwich. What you doing?
Okay, so I agree. It's a resource, and you don't want to burn through the resource. But a lot of people would probably disagree with that sentiment
because they don't know. Just like, for instance, listen, it might not sound nice, but it's the facts. It's a bit of a transaction. It always has been a transaction. You do not. Okay, I'm about to make some people mad, but I'm just giving you old.
Come on, that's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Old school food. And these women, I've been telling them to listen to me, because I must know something. Okay, I got a lot of things through this good coochie. Okay, I got lots of things paid for through this good coochie. So I tell them they need to listen to me. But yeah, you don't just be giving it out all willy-nilly. And it goes back to the old saying, why buy the milk when you got the, when you can get the, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Right.
And it's the same sentiment. If you're giving this man all this coochie, but you want a ring, and you continue to give him coochie without a ring, guess what? You're probably never going to get the ring, because you're giving him everything that he wants and desires, and you're not getting anything. It's a transaction. Both people need to get something out of it. And women are laying underneath men daily for hours and not having an orgasm, and they're okay with this. I've never been okay with that. No,
okay.
I'm an orgasm. So
I'm with you, but given when I hear these men's complaints, it sounds like the women are doing exactly what they are. They're getting something and not putting out, and the men are becoming frustrated. The whole issue with the dinner date dashing and stuff, and they, the guys are putting out all this stuff and not getting anything in return. Then we hear the social contracts and marriage and all this and that. So apparently, with them, they're not getting in return. It's not the
Who the
quid
men?
pro quo. Yeah, if you
They're getting.
listen,
They're
well,
getting and but let me just tell you, everything within balance. Whether you're a man or a woman, everything within balance. I have a son here,
okay.
and hold on, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a second because someone's coming down the
Yeah, yeah,
steps.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
oh no, oh no, oh, oh, they gonna
I'm,
clip it. Mahogany, they gonna
I'm
clip it. I'm gonna clip it. They go. We all gonna clip it. We clipping it, clip it right now, bros.
Let me, baby, I'm on the camera, sweetie. Just give me a second, honey. How do I edit this thing? Hold on,
I
sweetie.
don't know.
That's a coochie. That's what that
Oh
is.
my
That's a
god.
coochie.
Hey, hey. Only here, people. Only here.
Okay, so what was we talking about again?
I don't know. Oh, it seems like their complaints that the women aren't putting out and the men are giving and not receiving.
Oh, so I was just gonna give a little bit of advice, and my advice is, baby, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the camera back on. He's in the kitchen, but he can. You guys are all right, so I'm gonna turn it back on. I was just gonna give some advice. Everything in balance. So, I mean, to me, this is common sense stuff. So it's the same thing for the men. If you meet a young lady at first, it should not always at first be about money. You really gotta vibe the woman, and you gotta vibe the situation. I don't have a problem with a man with men spending money, but like, I do think everything within moderation. Like a first date, I don't think there's nothing wrong with a bookstore. I'm a nerd, so I love books. A
Okay.
bookstore, a comic store, the mall, coffee. That's completely, I think, appropriate for a first date. Um, but as you get, so you don't have to break the bank. And if you're finding that every time, because there are some women that will push that. Some young girls, they're taught by their mothers who are hoochies to do that. I know plenty of them. I mean, I could have did it, if I wanted to, but I just wasn't raised like that. But yeah, they're taught to go after a man's bank. But I don't believe, from my experience and with the women I know, I don't believe that's the majority of, at least not Black women. I think there are good young Black girls out there, and you just got to find them, just like you got to find the young men. But basically, yeah, you got to use common sense. Like, of course, I want him to be a gentleman. I want him to pull out the door. I want him to pay for the first date. But, it's like somebody taking your lunch money. It's one thing, oh, I forgot my lunch money this day, but then every day they're coming to you, you got to use a little common sense, and you got to put everything in moderation.
So are we to a point now where people have to kind of just lay out and say these are my terms and conditions? What are your terms and conditions? Let's see where we match up and where we can find a compromise. Is it because it it shouldn't be this difficult?
And that's what I was going to say. Hell no, we're not planning shit. I'm the type of person that go with the flow. I I like to go with the flow, like spontaneous. Like, to me, like, if you've got to plan and you're budgeting, and if you got the budget, you probably can't afford. Maybe you shouldn't be dating. Like when me and my friends go out, honey, child, we dropping stacks. We are having such a good time. We popping bottles, pouring wine, like we having a good time. If I'm penny pinching, oh my goodness, I just spent $60 on this. Am I gonna have enough money? Maybe I should have stayed home. Maybe I need to get my finances right. I just don't ruin my good time. Okay, we had to pop bottles and splurge. We had to have a good time.
I would think most men are lean towards the frugal side when it comes to money and finances.
Bless their hearts, honey. Mahogany. I get paid, and I like being around men that know how to have a good time. And I make bread. I spend bread. Right? You work hard. You play even harder. And I like men that do the same thing. That's a
Okay.
military. That's a military phrase. We work hard and we play even harder. Have fun. Damn, life is short.
Okay. So you have a certain archetype of a male man that you only want to deal with. So if the penny pinch and the frugality is an issue, that's not your type of guy.
Oh hell no! I've broken up. I've stopped talking to men because they asked me for $10. What the hell you asking me? Oh Jesus!
I understand. That's cool.
You asking me for $10 for? My son got $10 in the drawer. Good God! My thing is, okay, because listen now. I know that sounds conceited, but listen to me. That's like a man. Here I am at almost 46 years old. That's like a man that wants to take me out on a date and he pulls up on his bicycle on his handlebars. What in the hell are you think you're gonna do with me on a bicycle? Like, I'm at a stage in my life where we need to have some shit together. You need to
Yeah.
have some kind. You should have $10 because what this tells me, if I were to ever get with you, you're gonna be constantly borrowing $10 and you don't have your finances together.
Yeah.
If you don't have, you're supposed to have 3 months worth of rent or mortgage money
In the
saved.
bank.
You're
Yeah.
supposed to have emergency funds. So that lets me know that you're not financially responsible. Child, you can't get this coochie. You can't get this coochie. You can't. Get your life together. Well, I'm just being
I
honest.
know.
Like,
I appreciate you saying. Let me ask you, what do you think people get wrong about you?
I told you, it's the this space is, and a lot of men don't like it when I say it, but it is the manosphere, and I find not all, because I don't know you that well, but I don't think all the men here are what do you call it? What did I say? What was the word I used? Um, just patriarchal, like just very condescending towards women.
Okay.
I think a lot of the men here are respectful, but some of them aren't. And so basically they're used to a woman that behaves, I guess, a little bit. But the thing is, I'm feminine. That's the thing. So, but I guess my tone is not feminine. I'm not talking like this. You know, I see a lot of the fake hoes. They be up here and be like, yeah, that should be tripping me out. They'd be like, yes, BGS. May I talk, please? May I talk? Jesus.
Okay. So it has to be the guy, right? My thinking is the guy brings it out of her. She would naturally submit or be
Mhm.
feminine if he, is earned or make, he has a vibe about him that she would just naturally just fall to his knees to a certain extent. Is that sound about right? Is that how
I think it's honestly, Sly. I think it's something that kind of happens mutually. I'm telling you. For instance, when you're first dating, there's certain things that you're just not going to do for a person because you don't know them that well. But over time, if I called you at when we're first dating, and if I called you at 1 o'clock in the morning, like we just started dating, and I called you at 1 o'clock in the morning because I heard a noise, and I said, "Come over here, please. I'm scared." You might be like, no, I got to go to work in the morning. But once the barriers start to be broken down over time, and so there's a natural submission that does happen from women, but I also seen it happen with men. I was watching a video with husband and wives.
okay.
They were celebrating their anniversaries, and the men were so doubting on their wives. I mean, they were so um, what do you call it? They just catered to their wives like it was amazing. And that doesn't, I don't think most men do that at first. They don't know how, but I think after you've been married 20 something years, you get to that point.
Well, yeah, you have to learn to date over again, and because we're growing and learning, and people change, and you hopefully learn to change with them, and as vice versa. And um, you know what? Yeah,
Think
yeah.
about it. I'm gonna get nasty with you, and I'm gonna just be honest.
Okay.
um well, I don't know why men, well, I don't know why people lie about some of the things they will not and will not do in bed. Just be honest. There's some things well, it's the truth. And I had someone trying to play that tough role with me, like, oh, I've never done that and I won't do it. Child, bye. All I know is it might be that way in the beginning, but it doesn't always end up that way.
Oh no, I don't take anybody serious when they're. I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna let her do that to me. Oh, okay, bro. Okay.
Or I'm not going to do that to her, and they
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there loving it, like
yeah.
gravy on a biscuit, honey. So
Um, the other married guys that you whose channels you frequent, I'm not familiar with all of them.
mhm.
Um,
I like D. Durrell.
okay, I fucks with Didi Ross. That's my
Mhm.
guy.
And BMT is married. I met his wife. BMT's wife is really pretty.
Okay,
Pretty
okay.
lady, beautiful skin, but just gorgeous. And there's a few married people around here running around here. that we don't give respect to. Kay, Business Talk with Kay is married.
Okay, okay.
Sheed We Hear, who's awesome, very supportive, and he got a lovely wife too. Sheed We Hear, Sheed We Hear.
I may have seen him in the chat. It sounds familiar.
Alonzo Hall is married.
Okay, yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah,
financial guy.
yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a few others, but those are the ones that I am around, I feel like more frequently.
Well, let me ask you, why are married men not welcome for the most part in, in those spaces?
Because of the rhetoric that these other men, that these honest, some of these incels, the incels are who are ruining the space, in my opinion. Because you got normal single men, normal married men, and then you got these weirdos that and they're the ones with the biggest mic. They're the ones that are doing all the talking. And in some cases, they're running these channels because they're donating the most, unfortunately. Like, they're the ones that I see a lot of content creators bowing down. And this right here, I'm not talking about anybody specific, because I go in a lot of spaces, and it's that way in a lot of spaces where these people are able to kind of run the space, because they're the ones participating in the panels. They're the ones donating. They're the ones kind of driving backing it up. Like when Pearl came around, a
Yeah. Oh my
lot of
God.
people said, what is she doing here?
Yeah.
But she was able to get up on all these platforms. People were donating like crazy. They don't come donate to Mahogany Roots, but you donating over there with that heifer. So, these trolls, if you will, were running the space.
Okay. The three groups you just mentioned, the incels, single men, and married men, I don't think they can naturally coexist in a space. What do we have in common?
Respect from one black man to another, regardless of whether you're married or not.
We don't respect each other. We're our own biggest enemies. We got O'Shea versus Angry Man versus Obsidian. Where's the respect?
Well, content creators are going to beef. We're going to do that. We can't help.
You're right, but just natural order of things that we've shown since, I don't know, the 70s, that we refuse to come together to build anything.
I do think if it depends on the situation. I think if it was a certain situation, I do think brothers would come together. I think it depends on the cause.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I think when it comes to mating, dating, the conversation will break down and turn into a shouting match, and insults would be flown about.
And I think there's a lot of jealousy. I'm gonna be honest. I think there's jealousy, and this is just my theory. I see a lot of jealousy from some of the single men with the married men, because the married men, a lot of them seem to have a little bit more together. They have homes. They're not talking in a microphone in some flat room apartment. They actually have a house, and they have access to, I'm being very honest with y'all, live in everyday coochie. These men are struggling to get the coochie. So they are mad. Listen, these men got a home. They got a warm cooked meal, and they're getting coochie every night. God damn! These niggas is mad. They mad.
Today's word of the day is coochie. So every time we hear the word coochie, everybody take a shot. Everybody take a shot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. This is good. This is good. This is good. Did you have any pushback? Oh, I got pushback for you. I remember why we first had a back and forth. Because remember the lady that tried to stab the man with a knife? Just a couple years ago.
Not really.
Okay. So there was a lady that stabbed her husband. And I remember it was a hot button issue, and everybody was talking about it. And I remember you said, well, he should have tried to take the knife from her. And I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. I did a video. I do remember. But I'm going to let you get back to that. But honestly, Sly, I mean, you had quite a few little run-ins, because I first came on your channel. There's a lady that I love to follow her. Her name is Super Scent. And she has Creole, the makeup line.
Oh, yeah, the makeup chick. Yeah.
Super Haiti. That's my sister from New Orleans.
Okay.
And I like her, her initiative. She's an entrepreneur. I follow Super Sin. So you did a video, and that's how I really started following your celebrity news. And
Okay. Okay.
then I ran into a video about your relationship, and I made a comment, and I don't be meaning to be so brutally honest. I think I made a comment about your relationship, and then you explained to me the type of relationship you had, and then I
Right.
apologized. And then we also got into it about Warren and Danini, and you told me to mind my own business. And I said, you mind your own business. Then you called me a
Okay.
viral cat.
Let's talk. let's get to that. I hate I hate that they're bringing their business online. I don't. I wish they would stop.
Well, you
Why?
want uh-huh.
I'm like I'm waiting for people next to them to say, hey, don't. This ain't the way to handle it. Like,
Well, can I say a little bit about it?
please.
Um, Everybody over here should know Warren and Danini. I don't need to get into anything. I could just talk.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, it came out online about their difficulties in their marriage. And the thing is, people were saying that, but they wanted, not they. I'm not taking sides, but from what I saw, it was the husband that brought it into the chat room first. I was there. It was the husband that brought it into
I
the chat room
remember.
first.
I remember.
And then she hopped up on the panel. I only got involved. There were by the time when you made the comment to me about, Mahogany, why you up there? I was like, I was like, Negro, there's 8 other people up here, and I'm up here to support Danita because and I'm gonna have a sister's back. You know that. Yeah, I'm gonna be up here, and because I just, but in all sincerity, no, it shouldn't come to the internet. I had my own situation come to the internet, and it should not come to the internet. But if it does, once it does, you can't really renege on it. It's there. But you can't stop talking about it. But if one person continues it, it's going to continue until you
Okay,
do.
and I agree with you, but the issue that I had is like, okay, it's to the internet. We're exposing everybody's dirty laundry, and it's like everybody was disregarding his issues, like why he saw things the way he did. And I'm like, okay, as a father, I'm like, okay, stepfather, I'm like, oh, that's bad. That's
Can I
bad. And
say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I do understand what you're saying, but I took issue, and I never actually told Warren, please don't go over to other people's chat room calling me all kind of names, because I wanted to talk to him about this. Like, it really bothered me. And if you remember when I was up there, I took issue with the words he was using and the things he was calling his wife. Because I'm old school. I'm an old school fool. Like I said, I was married for over a decade, and I've been with this one for nearly 13 years. Mm-hmm. And in all them years, I never had no man call me out my name. Mm-hmm. Never. And no one has ever called my son a name. Like, to me, I'm going to be honest, that's a form of abuse. That's abusive. And so my issue when I came up there is, why are all these men, they're wanting to support him so much, which there's nothing wrong with that. We've known Warren for years. But why doesn't any of these brothers tell him the truth? Like, dude, chill out on the words that you're calling your wife. That's not necessary. Like, if you're going to call her anything, call her name. You don't have to. I mean, in my opinion, the words, I just have an issue with that because I don't like any form of abuse. Okay. I'm also trained in the military to identify that type of thing. Okay. I've talked about this on my channel many times. If you would not call your child that, or your mother, or somebody that you really put esteem on, you should definitely never call your spouse that. That's hitting below the belt, and it's abusive. And I just was not, I don't think he was aware, or maybe he was, but I felt like some of the men should have said something. Okay, you're right. But him saying it so casually the way he did tells me that's how they fight all the time. Yes, that's true. That's clearly was nothing new. Once again, I just had issue with, okay, she got her issues, and now let's hear his side of the story, which we rarely ever hear the man's side of the story. And when he was laying out his position, I'm like, this is bad. Well, I didn't, and I'm gonna be honest. I felt like I was very fair, but I can honestly say, as a woman, maybe in the beginning, but now that more stuff has come out, but this is the thing what men don't see. Because he even said the other night, he made a comment, I did the right thing. I married her. It does not stop there. Even with my own man, he paid bills. He paid good bills. We
Hmm.
went on vacations. He treated me like a queen.
Hmm.
We treated each other like a queen. I took him out last. I spent like a grand on him. We went out. We spent a beach. I have to share the pictures with you, but we spent like this last time we went nearby to Hilton Head or Kiowa Island, but we usually go to the mountains, and I rent like this huge mansion, and for the family and friends, and I spent a little grip, but if you for me, that's why I say I like to have a good time,
Hmm.
and I'll do anything for my loved ones and friends. And then we all put in on it too. It's not like I was just spending all the money by myself, although I ain't gonna lie, I have no problem. I work hard, I play hard.
Hmm.
So yeah, and he's done the same thing for me. If we hadn't gotten to this argument, we're supposed to be going to Jamaica. We're supposed to be going to on a cruise somewhere. I don't know if that's going to happen now, but you know, both of us have come from humble beginnings, and we've worked really hard to get where we are. So we are enjoying that. But let me just say this about the Warren and Danini thing. I'm not a friend to you if I'm not telling you the entire truth. And when I evaluate a situation, I do look at both sides. And I did understand what he was saying. He was saying some things were happening that made me uncomfortable. But the language he was using, this little hole, that
Yeah,
little
yeah,
beat,
yeah.
that's abusive. So now that's telling me you're not even aware. And keep in mind, I was trained in the military to do this type of stuff. I was the EO representative for my unit for 4 years. So I'm listening to this. You're admitting that you're using this type of language in front of this child. That, like, it's hard for me to have sympathy for you when you don't have sympathy for this child.
Hmm.
And that was the thing that was really hard. It was like everybody wanted sympathy for him, but like this person is, even though we might like him on YouTube, he's being abusive in his household. I'm gonna be honest. If I was up here cussing my family member out, like cussing them out. I cuss, but I don't cuss them out. I cuss my family members out. But if I was up here doing that, I'm being abusive to them. I don't expect y'all to sympathize with me. Y'all need to tell me about myself. And so that's what I was trying to get across.
I think the cursing was his way of expressing his
How you felt?
frustration of having no say so in that household.
You don't think Warren had to say so? Have you?
Well,
What Warren?
okay,
The same Warren?
okay. Well, hear me out, because if the daughter is doing whatever she wants to do, and he's like, "Hey, that's inappropriate behavior. She shouldn't be doing that in the house." Does he have control? I mean, the
But,
ultimate form of control is over who tells the kid what to do.
but
Never
listen,
mind the bills. Never mind who pays the bills and who does what in the household. Who tells the kid what to do? That's the ultimate sign of who runs that house. So if a man tells you your kid cannot be having sex in this house, and
mhm,
she says, whatever,
mhm.
so that's her house.
But get this. This is the thing. And this is why I say that men, I'm not saying every man, there's a men and women think differently, and there's definitely miscommunication with our thinking, because Warren, they won another panel yesterday, but I also,
Again? Oh my God.
well, let me just say this. I had a stepfather that I did not like. You want to know why? Because he was never a stepfather to me. But when it came down to laying down the rules, then all of a sudden he wanted to be a stepfather to me and my brother. Me
Okay.
and my brother looked at him like, nigga, who is you? You don't get us nothing for Christmas. You don't do nothing but stress our mama out. You're yelling, you're cursing in front of her. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's hard to have sympathy for somebody that is doing those type of things in the household. There's a reason a lot of times when a lot of times I work with kids, and there's a reason a lot of times when kids, most kids are good at heart. When kids are acting out, there's something going
I
on.
agree.
There's
Yes.
something going on.
Yeah.
And so it's real easy to look at them and say, this disrespectful child. Why is this child being disrespectful? Maybe because they don't have no respect for you as an adult. Maybe they don't respect the way you talk to her mother. Maybe they don't respect the way that you're not helping out and pulling your weight. You think those children don't know that you're not paying the bills and that their mama is the one paying the bills? And I swear to God, Warren, do not curse me out, but I'm just being honest. Kids know. I saw my stepfather doing the things he was doing. He was a drug addict. I didn't respect him. Me and my brother did not respect him, and we couldn't wait for my mom to divorce him. I'm just saying, I'm not comparing him to that. I'm just saying I can understand. I can put myself, I'm always child first before anything else, and I can
Hmm.
put myself in her when he was talking all that, oh, she doesn't do anything I say, and Nini's okay with that. There's things going on. There's a reason why that dynamic is allowed to play in that house.
Understood. Understood.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm with you,
Hmm.
but I don't think children should know who pays the bills.
But they do. They're very smart. You know how I knew? My mom never came to me and said, your stepfather ain't doing nothing. You know how I knew?
How yeah,
Well,
tell me how.
I mean, there was lots of things when we barely had things under the tree. When the lights got cut off, and my mom, you know, oh God, I won't even go there. But things were missing. My violin, I was very good at violin. I played in the orchestra, the symphony orchestra, and my violin turned up missing before one of my lessons, and I had no violin, and my mom had to go run and spend the last bill money to go buy me another $250 violin, but he
Hmm.
spent the money, or he spent it on drugs. My mom is working, breaking her back. Kids pay attention. They're not dumb. They're a lot smarter than what we get them credit for.
Did you ever get to a point where you asked your mom, "Hey, why did you choose this man at that time?"
I did, and I actually got into it with her.
Oh,
And I'm gonna be honest, it took me years to understand why she did what she did, but
okay.
of course, now that I'm grown, I understand. Uh, sh- he was never going to replace my father, period. But like I said, he never tried to. He never tried to get to know me and my brother. He really didn't make an effort. He was there for my mom. He married my mom, and we were just the stepkids that came along with the package. And you think we didn't pick up on that? We picked up on that, and we felt the same way about him. That this dude is my mom's boyfriend. That drops off a little loving in the middle of the night, and we just didn't have that family relationship.
Hmm.
Shout out to the men and women that called their stepchildren my son and my daughter. Shout out to, I love that. This dude, he would call us his stepkids. He would be in the store with me flirting with another woman in the grocery store. Like, he was so disrespectful. And I would tell my mom about it. And of course, she wouldn't listen to. She found out the hard way. They eventually got a divorce. But, oh, God, you taking me there. But
I wasn't trying. My bad. I'm
uh,
sorry.
oh yeah, Mahogany has been through some stuff, but I know what I'm talking about. This is why I'm able to see things, because I've lived through a lot of this stuff. Um, but basically, what was the last thing you said, sweetheart?
Shit, I
I'm,
forget.
oh, I'm sorry. What's that part? Okay, the point. Okay, so we're talking about. Okay, yeah, cool.
Well, okay. I said Warren's frustration running the house. Okay, you said stepdad didn't. Oh, I said how would you know if who paid the bills? And that's when you went on, and then I totally forgot what my last point
Oh,
was.
I was just saying that you see things, you pay
Okay,
attention
yeah,
to
yeah,
things.
yeah,
My
yeah.
mom would be crying, worried about how things were going to get done, and she was working a lot more than they're not stupid. That's all.
Okay, well, okay. So for me, I didn't. I mean, my parents fought, but it wasn't like, yeah, I don't know what it's like to not turn a switch on and the lights. Now, I don't have that. I never had that. I'm very very blessed, very fortunate. Parents did their job, so I don't have a lot of experiences that a lot of people have when it comes to childhood struggles.
Mhm.
So I really have no excuse for, you know.
But Super Slide, that's the thing. When he left, we were Gucci, and before he came, we were Gucci, and that's the whole I can do bad by myself. A lot of people don't understand why Black women kind of came up with that mantra, and that's a whole nother story. But that's when you settle for somebody just to say you have somebody,
Right.
a piece of somebody,
Yeah.
versus wait until you get a whole somebody. So yeah.
That was deep. I wasn't ready for all that, but I appreciate you sharing.
You're welcome.
Um, what future endeavors? What's the 5, 10 years look like for you? What?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, like we spoke about before we came live. And it just came over me that I think I've been on YouTube a while. I can't think how many years. I think at least 10 years now. Even if I wasn't doing videos, I think I might have been doing videos 6 or 7 years.
Mhm.
But I've been on here for at least 10 years, surfing the manosphere sector and other sectors. Right now, I've been watching Jaguar writing the celebrity
Oh
news,
my
but
God, that.
oh, and she something else.
Oh
Ooh,
God.
something else. And I'm waiting. I can't do it now because a special friend of mine asked me not to. They don't want me to go. They don't want me to do it because I'm gonna tell the truth about her. I'm gonna tell the truth about that last ex-husband and the several that she's had within the past year,
Oh.
and they don't want me to do it because I think they kind of like her. So
Oh,
anyway,
nah, do that. You got to do. Listen, you owe it to your journalistic freedoms and creative processes.
right,
You
I'm
owe
like,
it. Yes, that's your job. Report.
well, they had actually one, and I was real close. I actually was able to get in touch with Set in the West, her fiance or whatever.
Oh
And
wow.
I was planning to have her on the show. After I had another guest, I was going to have her. But then I went back. Someone told me to do some research. I did a lot of research, and all these videos from her past
Hmm.
started popping up. But the thing is, it's not really her past. I see the things she's doing now,
Yeah.
and it's still the same.
Well,
The way she's running her chat room, because I follow. She's
well,
running her
no,
chat.
no. I think we're all like vessels for people to tell their stories, and whether we agree with it or not, I'm open to let people tell. Girl, you better do that shit. What you doing?
I will. I'm just waiting on the right time.
Okay.
I was going to try to get her over, but I said that's down the window. That's because I'm not going to be fake. If I do get her over, I'm going to ask the very difficult questions, like why did you do this to Goomba? Like
Yeah.
I'm going to ask them questions.
This is the
Okay.
perfect time because listen, she got the Trump award, and this is the perfect time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead and put that in motion. Go ahead and send that text off. Like, yeah.
Well, I see. I've been watching. I saw your last video. I've been watching you this past week, waiting to see. But when you did, I do have a question. When you did your response video to me, or when you mentioned me, I didn't feel like you had any malice. Do you have any malice
There
towards me?
was none. That's what
Okay.
I, I guess
Me,
maybe it's my tone. I don't know. I need to work
no,
on that.
sweetie. Me and you, y'all look at my cute little ghetto ass. I love these child. These things are everything, honey. Oh, Father. Anyway, no, me and you get along, Sly. We get along.
I've never had no outright issues with you. If people disagree,
Mhm.
it's okay. That's what's the beauty of of forming relationships with people and stuff like that. That's the beauty in that. So nah, I never had an issue with you. Nah, like I like you. You're good.
I like you too. And I think most of us are likable. Like if we just chill out, like I said, the panels facilitate, especially when one's dominated by the other, because I've seen it where women dominate and then they cut off the men. The men can't get a word in edgewise. Or they're very rude and disrespectful and won't let the man talk. I'm like, damn, sister, let the man talk. So I just think the panels, I'm telling you, if you really want to get to know somebody, visit their channel. Visit their channel, and that's when you're going to see who they really are.
I think part of the problem, like you said, the chat is starting to dictate instead of the
Mhm.
content creator, and I think that's extremely problematic. Because once you go down that road, it's hard to come back from it. And now now we see other people in people's chats that don't like you. They'll go and be in someone else's chat talking smack. I'm like, you guys are mentally ill. Like you're mentally
Mhm.
ill. So
Yes, honey. I'm trying to get comfortable.
you
But
good?
yeah, I mean, he's talked. Oh, child, I don't even know. I know one thing. I'm down with him. There will be no reconciliation between me and that troll, and he gonna have to kiss a whole lot of ass if he's even gonna get me to speak to him again. Otherwise, I'm just done with him. So this message is for him. Go over because I know you will. You ain't got nothing else to do instead of saving lives like you're supposed to be up in that. You worried about Mahogany Roots, honey. So go on over there to the Method channels and continue to talk about Mahogany Roots, honey. Instead of saving lives, honey, he thinking about me.
You know, nope. I'm gonna be neutral. Yeah.
You're so funny. You are so funny.
Now, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna. Okay, so I have a group. I know you haven't been around that much, but I put a group together. My girl Khadijah Hunter is in the group. Um, and then sometimes Sister George will come by. She'll be a guest. She's kind of busy. And then I got Ron or Ronus, excuse me, Ronus, and then JJ. So, Jay Wisdom, not Jay Wisdom, JJ. So, anyway, we had the little relationship show
Okay.
and we've been constantly doing that. But because of my health, I fell back from that. But I will be doing that again. basically what I'm saying, maybe Super Sly, I know you're busy with your celebrity news, but if you ever want to do a regular thing and I'm up to it and
Yeah.
I will come over or you can come over. I don't mind coming over here and hanging out with y'all.
Oh no,
All right.
my people's are good at it. There's no, I don't do all that, you know,
I did
tapping
mention
trolling.
I did mention a dating show. I
That's
do want to
fine.
do it. Okay.
It's weird because people act like, well, you're married, you can't. I mean, yeah, but there's kind of things I see now because there's another.
Nice.
Well, no, there's another married guy that I've been trying to tell people about for years that his shit's on the rocks, and no one seems to believe me. But now all of a sudden, his wife is looking to buy a house in Miami while he stays in Detroit. How does that work?
I have no idea.
Yeah, bald head, fake the little short Goomba guy that looks like Rick Ross, little short guy with the beard.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Maybe it'll come to me later.
no, I say Anton Daniels.
Oh.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just waiting for the "I got you, I told you" niggas moment. It's coming.
Well, y'all know Anton's first YouTube video, I believe, was about him having a food truck. Like he's not even. This is to me. This is a grift. It's a huge grift. He was on Dr. Phil, cooning it up, talking crap about black folks. Um, him and Tommy. Ooh, father. They just remind me of people that'll do anything for a check. They'll sell their mother up a river.
I
I mean,
agree.
that's how
I
I feel
agree.
about it. Yeah.
I
Now,
agree.
can you go back to her comment? She said can you go back to her comment? Because I guess this is some kind of false lie about why she blocked me. Oh, I just block people and keep it moving.
Was
Well,
she
I
blocked
wish,
you?
yeah, but I wish she hadn't because I actually like her. And I've told everybody that I do. I think she's funny. But if you want to block me, that's fine. You miss out on these goodies.
Okay. Okay. All
She'll be
right.
back.
You
She'll be
you,
back.
you have my attention. All right.
I hope
Then-
we do this again. Are you ready to end it already?
no. We got time. No, I got time. I got time. I just want to be respectful of your time. So
Okay, I was going to try and go to the gym, but to be honest, they closed early tonight. So, I'm good. I'm up now. Mhm.
okay. So this would be like the chill part of the show, just kicking back, whatever's on your mind, and yeah.
Well, my last few shows have been a little bit dramatic, but I did a show that had everybody on edge. It was real. It was not fake. I kind of responded to you saying that I don't do stuff for fake on YouTube. I really don't. This is therapy for me.
Hmm.
Like I said, when my brother passed, it was suggested that me and my son, because my son was also affected, that we do this for therapy. So I see this as a form of therapy, a form of release. And
Okay.
yeah,
Let me ask you: do you
sure.
think? I hate to say this, but do you think black people are the right audience to have therapy
I
in
think
front of? In front of is what I'm saying.
um, it probably wasn't the smart. I don't know, but I was emotional. I wasn't thinking. I'm gonna be honest. I was emotional, so it wasn't something that I was thinking too much about. But I don't regret it. I don't live my life with regrets.
Okay.
I was holding that in for a long time, and it needed to come out. I was tired. That was the thing, because everybody asked me why. I was tired of holding it in.
Okay.
I'm sitting here pretending that everything's okay. That no, it's not okay. I'm upset with your butt right now. I'm upset with you, and you know why I'm upset. And you know what? Just to piss you off and piss her off, since she wants to watch, I'm going to talk about you. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So that's how I felt.
Okay. How do you feel about urban audiences, the urban spaces of YouTube? How are you have a I personally I hate it at this point. Like
Oh.
not the people so much, but I guess maybe it's the attitude and mentalities that come with. It's a lot of bullshit that comes with entertaining, us as a collective.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about that? Or what's your take on it?
Like I said, I'm in all types of sectors, and I actually have seen. I'll call it the lower sectors of the. I don't want to say trailer park sectors, but I've seen like the all white sectors where it looks like everybody's kind of poverty level just by the discussions that they're having.
Yeah.
So honestly, we're not any different than anybody else. Black folks, we're just, I think black folks do put too much of our business out here, for other folks to see. And then we, instead of us, my biggest problem with us, instead of us balancing out, there's nothing wrong with telling your truth. You had a horrible black woman, speak about it. You had a horrible black man, speak about it. But then maybe next week switch it up and talk about the good black man the good black men in your life.
Hmm.
Maybe talk about your wife that's a gem and why you love being married to her. Give us some balance. My biggest problem has been the imbalance with us, with this sector.
So what do you suggest?
Balance. And I've asked, and I've got kind of, I think, was it Bernard Rowley? I've asked people to give balance, and I get two reactions. One of two reactions. I'll get, you can't tell me how to run my show. Or I'll get, yeah, and someone told me that. I think it might have been Bernard Rowley who told me that when I made a
Hmm.
suggestion about,
Hmm.
like, why are you talking about black women all the time? Well, this is my show and I'm going to do. It's like, I get that reaction. You can't tell me how to run my show.
Yeah.
I'll get, what's the other one that I get? I can't remember, but it's, for example, everybody's been talking. I think there was a young girl that passed, a mother. Did she leave her car, or her daughter in a car or something like that? Her child in a car.
There's been several stories like that.
Right. But it's a black
Oh, the
woman.
one in Detroit that the kids froze to death. Is that
Oh
the one?
God.
Oh, you didn't catch
Yeah.
that one? Okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I used to follow, there's several of these news shows that I follow. I watch the news. I'm old school. And I used to report all these stories. I did a few last year about the young black boy that got slammed to the ground by a custodian and the school lied. The child had a
I
during
remember that. Yeah.
yeah. How many of these black men talked about it? Are black women? No, hardly nobody talked about it. And the child was autistic and nonverbal. About that thing brought me to tears. But the point is, um, I've seen shows about Mexican women, um, men, Chinese, all different type of races of people,
Hmm.
women abusing their kids, white women doing all kinds of stuff to their kids
Hmm.
every single day. And I follow these people. They might have one black woman once, literally, and I'm not making it up, maybe one black story with a black mother killing her kids, because it really doesn't happen that often compared to other races. But you might have a black woman killing her kids or something like that once every a month and a, I don't even want to say it like that's not a big deal, but you know what I'm saying? It's not as much as the other races, but the black manosphere or this sector, we will wait till it's a black woman and make it go
And then,
viral. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
no, you know what? That's
And the
because
black women do the too. Remember the brick lady?
yeah.
Like all black men are at the club throwing bricks. Like, are we really? Are we? I have never had a brick thrown at this face. Okay, I'm still going to the club. Y'all are not going to scare me.
Well, here's the thing: all the stories that I see of other races of women, because I'm on Reddit, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all these different other platforms, so I see all the everybody else's effery, right? And then it seems to me that black folk only stick to YouTube and wait for YouTubers to report on the
Versus the
black story.
world.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, no, they're doing this all over the planet. They're just going ham and seeing a story where some lady threw her kids off a bridge, and I was like, she was a Russian woman,
Mhm.
and they were going through a divorce, and she was like, you can't have them, and she make the video of her throwing the kids off the bridge, and I was like, god damn. So it's everybody.
That's what they do. They get their stuff off of YouTube or maybe TikTok. And I literally saw a YouTuber reading straight off of Google. Like, they don't really bother to do real research with anything. And that's why the space gets congested with the same content material over and over. Everybody's doing the same subject because everybody's kind of looking at the same thing, what's trending.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wish we just will get in the habit of looking at things from different lenses instead of just one giant lens that we all. And I don't want to look at things from your point of view, because then what's the fun in that? And then I don't want to have the same narrative as you have. My outlook on women is vastly different than the majority of those guys that have a microphone. So
Mhm.
um yeah, but I consciously make an effort to separate and scrub and redo my algorithm, so if I see videos I like, As soon as I can see, you can tell the title, "Black Woman." This I just do not recommend. I just don't have time for it. I don't.
I've done my little, played my little games on here. I'll type in like positive things about black women. Can't find one video.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is I don't like black women. There's about 1,000 videos.
Well, and to be fair, yeah, if I covered the Detroit woman video, and I'm like, wow, let me. That's just it's so like how does that happen? Like you're a woman with kids. The state is the program's wide open to you, and then you go into the story and how the daddy moved in with some fat bigger chick, so he's a homosexual and he couldn't come get the kids. And I'm just like, this is a shit show all the way around. So maybe those kids are better off not even being here at this point.
I know what you're saying. I will say that, and I was talking about this the other day on Reddit. Is I made a comment. I don't think people understood what I'm saying, but there are a lot of kids that there's different levels of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking about the verbiage, but I mean, even your tone, how you talk to your kids. If you're standing up in their faces and you're trying to intimidate your kids, I've seen this. I've seen parents do this to their kids. I had a woman, I was going off about it in my show. She purposely was trying to humiliate her son in front of everybody, and it made my stomach turn. And so there's all types and forms of abuse. I think people need to educate themselves on abuse and what it is and how to identify it. I think a lot of parents are doing damage to the kids and they don't even realize it. They have no training on how to be a parent. And just because your parent, you might think your parent was a good parent, I guarantee you they made some mistakes with you. And it's up to you to kind of, like me, I did not want to, I love my mom and she did a great job with me, but I didn't want to make the same mistakes that she made. My mom didn't tell me and my brother that she loved us until we were grown. She never used to tell us she loved us because the way my mother grew up, she was abused and her grandmother never told her that she loved her. It's a Southern thing, and I can try explain it the best way I can as fastly as I can. So my mother's in her 70s. Her mother would have been probably, if she were alive, 100, and her grandmother who raised her would have been in her hundreds. So this is, how many years ago this was. You got to keep in mind the time. But in the South, if a white person was walking on the same sidewalk as you were expected to step over into the street to let them pass.
Okay.
You did not look a white woman in the eye. Emmett Till. You did not, there was, and so a lot of the elders, particularly the women that reared the children, they would beat, and this is the stereotype that black women beat their kids so much, but no, back then, black women would beat their kids out of fear. A lot of things happened to black children, black boys, black girls in the South, and black women tried their best to protect them, and that was their way of keeping them in line. They felt that if they kept their children in line, the white man can get their hands on them. I'm going to keep you in line so you stay out of the law, so the law can't put their hands on you. And that was the thinking. And so basically my mom got beat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner by her own grandmother. And I'm saying all that to bring you up to current date to why oh Lord, I don't know if I'm tired or if I'm just old. What was someone like, help me? How did I start off? There was a point to this.
The upbringing, right?
Say it again.
It was the upbringing. We were.
Yeah, but how did we start with it? There was a point to this.
I'm the wrong person to ask. My memory's shot.
I'm older than get us together.
I know, right?
But basically, when I'm saying, but we started off with something else before I got into this. I'm giving you the background.
Just like that, I forgot.
Oh, I knew I should have drank. Wine keeps me together, Super Sly. Yeah, look at the chat. They got to be telling us something. What y'all say?
Let me see. Nope. They forgot to, just like that.
Oh, okay. Well, we can move it along. It'll watch before the end of the live stream. I'm gonna say
it'll come back. Okay, so we both work with children. I'm a pessimist. I'm scorched earth. You see positives. Where? Why are you an optimist with these kids? These kids are bad as fuck.
Some of them are, yes, that's true. But I meet kids every day. They're extraordinary. I mean, they're just extra. I met one today. She was extraordinary. You could tell she was extremely intelligent.
But it's not enough of them.
I don't know. Kids take time to find their way. You know what I mean? I'm nothing the way I was when I was a child. Um, so it's hard to say with children. They have so much time to grow. They're so mendable.
Okay.
I
I, I,
believe in our children. I believe in them.
I agree, but I'm to the point where right now, if they don't stand out to me now, I disregard them. Like
Well,
I don't even pay them any mind. Like you have to be, you know, the interactions and how the mannerisms when I talk to them. And I'm just like, okay, this one might have, we could save this one that might raised right so far, right? And I pay attention to those, but the regular schmegglers, like I don't pay them no mind, and society's the same way.
it's hard work being a community, any type of person that works with our children. Most of us do it for free, right? Because I don't know if you're a professional coach but like
No, I'm
I
a
was
coach.
myself.
I get paid. Listen, you got to pay me to deal with these kids.
Well,
I'm not
I
going.
work with them on a professional level, but I also volunteer with them. And if you want to, I'll share a video of my son in the community boxing center. He's been in community stuff his whole life since he was a baby. Community swimming team, community this, community that. It's good to get your children involved. But anyway, um, it starts at home. So there's only so much you can do. The only thing you can do is try to make the experience and the time that they have with you special and memorable. Like I still remember my favorite science teacher. I still remember my orchestra teacher
Okay.
taking us to McDonald's, taking us to concerts and dropping us off and doing stuff with us, practicing at his house, playing with his kittens, just trying to make the time that they spend with you memorable.
Okay.
Because God knows what they're going through at home.
Oh, the chat came through. We were talking about the mother in Detroit.
Uh-huh. Oh, the mother in Detroit. So yeah, but I think I came to a point with that. There's just that there's stories going on with women of all races, but the manosphere will wait till it's a black woman and make it seem like all black women are out here killing their kids, which is absolutely obviously
Mhm.
that's could not be close to the truth. Just like with the 70% of black boys reading below a third grade level or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
My son has never had trouble reading. He's been an advanced reader, and most of my friends, some of them married, some of them single, but all their kids do most of my friends have kids in the honor roll.
Okay.
Like I just think it's what we choose to focus on a lot of times.
You have an autistic son. Is that correct?
Uh-huh. Hmm.
Okay. How was that? What struggles? Did you guys get an early diagnosis? Was there help for you back then? Because autism now is like everyone knows you can get manuals and you can go get help. Back then, not so much. How was that
It's
for
still
you?
a struggle, and I
Okay.
see people struggle with it every day. For me, he got diagnosed late.
Okay.
I do recommend for all parents to try and get. Hey, May, good to see you, sweetie. I do recommend that all parents try and get the diagnosis early if they can see some things that may be a little bit different from other children, because it benefits you and the child. If I was able to get my son's diagnosis sooner, I would have made a lot less mistakes. I was hard on him. I grew up in this military household. I'm very militaristic, and that's just not him.
Hmm.
And I had to learn to deal with him where he was. But at the same time, I didn't let him just and I was having a fit over there on my channel about that. Even though I had to meet him where he was, I still expected him to do. I never let him get away with I can't. What you
Okay.
talking about? You my child. And if I can do it, you can do it. So I never let him get away with that. Maybe we had to study a little bit longer. Maybe we had to get a little extra tutoring. Maybe I had to spend a little bit more time at the kitchen table with him. Maybe we had to go over it and over and over it again. But we was going to get it. We was never going to give up, and we were never going to just say, oh, I can't, because I'm different than somebody else's child. That was unacceptable.
So, was it for you like nonverbal cues or what was?
No. Oh yeah. So there are signs. I have a list of them, but just off the top of my head, um, typically it starts around 2.
Okay.
And then I really would like to read you the list, but we don't have to do it today. But there's certain milestones that all kids have as they get older.
Right.
But from the way they hold their spoon, some kids will hold their spoon like this, but then after a while they begin to be able to properly grip the spoon,
Mm-hmm.
and feed themselves. Speech. They should be able to form sentences at a certain age. And there's a list. I don't want to start saying things without looking at the list because I want to be factual. But I started reading a lot. I started, parenting books and stuff like that. And I just started really paying attention. And then I went in the military and his dad was with him a lot. And
Okay.
his dad would say, he's doing this, he's doing that. And I would take note. We would tell the pediatrician. But yeah, there's little things. For instance, we would say our ABCs, like just say it. And then a few seconds later, he would maybe get a little frustrated and say he didn't remember. And I was like, I know you remember, you just said it. And I remember, I feel so guilty about this now, but one time I spanked him because I was so frustrated. I thought he was playing with me. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you just said it, say it again. And you would say it again, I'm going to spank you. And now looking back on it, he probably did. He was probably so stressed from me, because I see kids do that. Parents do that to their kids all the time. Me pushing him to do it, that he probably did blank out and forget. So if I had known, I would have done things a little bit different with him. But once I found out, me and his dad took autism parenting classes together. We went
Okay.
together and we learned how to deal with him.
Wow, that's dope. What now I know they have certain gifts that most
Mhm.
people don't have. So what did you discover his talent was per se, based
He
off him having?
He had a love of, I won't say an obsession, but he had a love with just all animals to this day. I mean, Stegosaurus, I thought it was just like a thing with dinosaurs. So I bought him every type of dinosaur there was. Then we got him all these dinosaur books. And then, we bought him notebooks as he started drawing the dinosaurs and labeling the dinosaurs. And it was like some really, really difficult words,
Okay.
like some really megalodon. And then one day we were sitting in my mom's house and my mom was cooking or whatever. And she was like, "What you doing?" I'll tell you my son's name, but "What you doing, MJ?" And he was just like, "Oh, I'm reading about Stegosaurus." Da, 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 da. And my mom was like, "What? Can you say that word again?" And then this one day, oh my goodness, I'll never forget this. I was stationed in, keep in mind, when I went in, my son was about 2 years old. I was stationed in El Paso. My husband had brought him down to visit, and we had went to a Thai restaurant or something like that. We only went there one time. They came back down a few months later, and we wanted to go back to that same restaurant, and we were nearby. My son, I was trying to remember where it was, and my son was like, "It's over there, it's over there." And I was like, me and his dad looked like there's no way he remembered. He has not been here. We only was there one time in a whole different state.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that this kid remembers. And sure enough, he was right. The restaurant was right there around the corner. And
Wow.
I just looked at him in complete awe. And that's when I knew. That's when I knew. And that's why I get so frustrated when people say people are ignorant. And there's so much about the human brain that they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
We use very little percentage of our brain. So
Right.
these young people, whatever it is, whether it's autism or ADHD, we don't understand things yet. Just because we don't understand it doesn't mean that they're less than us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always raised my son to know that he's not less than anybody. He just thinks differently. His brain works differently. And because, yeah, he's super smart. He remembered. Who can go to New York City, never been to New York City? You take me to a restaurant and I tell you what a restaurant is.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He did that. I was like, oh, my baby is genius.
So now are you guys just focusing on his strengths more so? So what is it like for you guys now that he's older? So what do you focus on now?
Um, some things have gotten easier, but a lot of things have gotten harder. And I think whether he was autistic or not, it would have still have gotten harder. It is difficult to be a mother of a Black child. It's particularly, well, I think, like, I don't have a daughter, but I think I'd be afraid for my daughter too. But Black boys, there was a time where every other day down here in the South, like, there would be a story of an incident where somebody's getting pulled over
Okay.
and they're getting beat up by the cops, or something wrong is going wrong. Somebody gets shot, and so basically he's 24. He does drive. He can drive by himself, but me and his dad prefer him not to because there's been so many traffic incidences, and we're also not sure that he'll know how to handle himself because of his anxiety.
Okay.
And these cops are not trained properly to deal with people with disabilities. I have looked up the stories. There are stories every day where these cops are shooting Black people dead in the street, thinking that their life is in danger, and they're dealing with somebody that has a mental type of illness.
Hmm.
And so I don't want my son, say, to get nervous and reach for something and they shoot him and they think he's reaching for a gun. I ain't got time for that foolishness because I'll burn the whole city down. So yeah, you what we do is, like, I let him drive to work. I just sit in the passenger seat,
Okay.
you know. And we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. My brother was asking. Everybody's asking. I'm like, when you gonna let him do it? And I have to. Eventually, I have to cut the apron strings. But I did lose my little brother right after he turned 25, and my son is 24. So it's like,
I
I
see.
just that is scary for me.
So are you worried about him being able to function by himself, his own
Yeah,
place? Okay. So is it
and
social interactions that you're worried about, or just
it's more the social.
okay?
I would like for him to one day, I've been looking up stuff. There are actually websites that connect people with autism, and
Okay.
I watch a few women and men that have autism, adults. There was a video about, when should you get your driver's license when you're an autistic adult, and it varies. There's a man, he didn't get his license until he was 35. He didn't feel comfortable because the noises and the lights and everything distracted him.
Okay.
And I told my son, I hope it doesn't take you that long, but if it takes you that long, that's fine. I want you to live. I don't want you to get in an accident and I don't have you anymore.
Hmm.
So, it's about, because it is a spectrum, and it's a very broad spectrum. So everybody can be different places. But yes, I'm worried socially. He's smooth with the girls, though. Girls like him. They always have. He's cute. I'll see if I can find you a picture while I'm still up here. Um, but I have to be honest. He's not interested in that, and it just might not never happen. I hope it would happen.
Hmm.
Um, but because of his social, um, I won't say suppression. He's just he's Asperger's.
Okay.
He's not very social. He does not really like to socialize with people. Um, and when he does, he puts a lot of effort. Like, he goes through a lot of sweat, like anxiety. I've seen it
Okay.
just talking to a girl that he thinks is pretty. Like, we were in, I don't know where we were, but it was a pretty young lady, and I could tell he didn't want me to embarrass him, so, say anything stupid. So I just walked off and let him talk to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. So does he has he already shown interest in whatever career field, school, anything of that nature? Is he to that point yet?
He's a lot like me when I first went through. He does not like college, but I
Okay.
feel like I didn't like college either at first, but then eventually I found my passion, which was dentistry. I started out in the medical field. So, I mean, he's 24. I feel like he has time.
Hmm.
He's doing art because he loves art, but he told me that he's at a college that it is known to be a difficult college. He told me he'd rather get a trade, and I'm all for that as long as he can earn a living, get an education. There's nothing wrong. I got a friend that's a welder that makes way more money than I do.
I'm
A
sure.
trade,
Yeah.
plumbing, AC, there's nothing wrong with a trade. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Mhm.
Okay. Right on. Right on. Right on.
And I have a
Um.
friend who does the similar work. So we were thinking about having him do like an internship with him so he can learn some carpentry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. 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 Cool. Cool. Cool.
Find you some pictures.
All right.
I hope I'm not putting everybody to sleep.
Nah. Nah. You good? Nah. 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 You good? You good? Nah. I think a lot of people are kind of like, was she gonna spaz out or she gonna go left? I think.
But Super Slide, even though we haven't spent that much time together, how many times why would I just spaz out on you for no reason? You're not being just like, that's the
No,
thing.
you know what? I think that's what people have been conditioned to expect, and when they don't get it, it's like
Why?
we're talking about black folk.
Oh,
I mean, it's like you watch enough this certain types of content where everyone usually spazzes out. There's always a you can set your watch by it, and when it doesn't happen, and it's like, oh, they're having a normal conversation. Nobody's yelling. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. You know, it happens. It happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep
So
on telling people, oh, I'm going to share I'm gonna share you a couple of photos. I just got to make sure it doesn't go onto another photo. I got some nasty photos on
Oh
here.
Lord, Lord.
Hold on, I'm gonna share. This is the beach house, not a beach house. This is the mountain house that I rent out every year. Me and my friends, and it's gorgeous. And I spent thousands on this for my man because I love him. So I hate it when people start talking about the money, like because I've heard people say that, oh, I wouldn't spend that much money on a bee, and I'm thinking to myself, y'all are so cheap and miserable. Child, get out of here.
It's funny because she doesn't care about money. She'll spend big money, and I have to kind of like
Right.
reel her back. Like, hey, wait. I gotta reel her back. I'm the cheap one. She's the spender. I'm the cheap one.
My man is the spender and I'm the cheap one, but I have learned a lot from him. And let me tell you why I splurge the way I do now. Like I said, I've had a lot of close calls, the surgeries, and I just, one of the first doctors I ever worked for, like I said, this guy is very popular. You look him up. His name is Dr. Larry Ferguson. He was one of the first African American dentists down here, and I had the pleasure of working for him for a few years. But very wise. We go to church together. But we used to tease him. We were in the break room. They went to a vacation to Italy. They went to France. They went to Spain. They went to all these different things. And I swear to God, him and his wife go on a vacation every 3 months. They've known each other since high school.
Hmm.
And so yeah, hanging out with people like that who have like lakefront homes,
Yeah.
and then people are listening to people like Kevin Samuels, who was living in an apartment with 3 divorces.
Stop it.
I'm just saying, like, anyway, I'm actually hanging out with people that are millionaires,
Right.
but I'm not a millionaire, but I'm hanging out with people like this. And you think somebody would ask me something like, could you put me on? Do you know anybody single?
Yeah.
At the time I did know a few single doctors, but anyway, um, basically he told me, he said, you know what? He had a stroke in the past. His wife had all these things, and he said, you know what, you get one life, you better live it. He said he lost so many friends that said they were going to do this and do that, and they never got to see the day because they didn't wake up.
Hmm.
So he said, while you got it, he said, there's never going to be enough money. You're never going to have enough money because you're always going to have bills. So do it, and do it while you can. Do it while the people you love can enjoy it with you. So that's why I just look at things differently now.
I remember one of your videos. You said you would like drive out of your way just to shop black only.
For sure.
Where
And
does
I
that
have
come?
videos of that too.
So where does that come from? This pro black pride. Where's that come
Well,
from?
my mom is a lot that way. Like I said, my mom, but my grandmother is not necessarily like that. But they grew up in a different time when my grandmother grew up. My grandmother is a generation away from slavery. She grew up in a time where black people were not allowed to vote. Like she has a 3rd grade education, but she's the smartest woman I know. But growing up underneath that tutelage, underneath that type of wisdom, I'm so blessed to have had that type of wisdom. You just don't see that type of wisdom nowadays.
Hmm.
And so they installed that in me. Like, even though we went to public school, my mom also did substitute teaching, and she taught us Black history. Me and my brother used to have to sit at the kitchen table, and she would do flashcards with us. Who invented this? Who invented that? And then guess what? When my son got old enough, I did the same thing with him.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, my mom installed a lot of stuff in me. My father died, so I didn't, I had a stepfather.
So shopping black, how difficult is that? How
It
much
can
of
be difficult at
okay.
times. It can. But guess what? It can be difficult going to Walmart and dealing with somebody with a bad attitude at Walmart. So it's like, who do I want to invest in, Because both of them got problems. But let me share some of these photos with you while you talking to me. I'm going to share some stuff with you. Please, no nudes.
Please for please don't get these don't get,
Well,
get the,
I
don't
mean,
get
I
them
got
ammunition.
not great pictures on here.
Do
So
not get them ammunition, please.
where are the damn pictures? Oh, here. Well, you know how one time you click on a Google photo, right? And it'll go to
Yo,
video.
I listen.
And you're like,
Don't I turn off the backups for Google Photos for my phones and my no, because I'm so worried about someone hacking into my shit.
oh, yeah,
My
yeah,
shit,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Can you see it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I wish I could make it bigger, but I don't know how to. but it's gorgeous, and we stayed there. We said this year we're gonna, well, me and my son, I guess we'll be going alone. I'm gonna share some more pictures, but we're gonna try and go to Florida and do a beach house thing instead of the mountains. But I love the mountains. That's where all the
Nice.
waterfalls are. Do you go see the waterfalls?
I haven't. I've been. The last time I've been to Florida was in Miami, and I went down to where they shot uh Scarface. I went to those location sites. I haven't. That's been a while. So I pretty much stay in California, just seeing all the sites up here because it's still things I'm trying to see out here. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, when I get a chance to hit the road, I make stops. So yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Here's one. Um, you hear my voice?
I heard it. I didn't see anything pop up though.
Okay. I'm gonna just keep on. You can keep on talking, man. I'm gonna keep on sharing things
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
so the shopping while black. Um, is that something you try to instill in your son as well, or no? Does it?
Oh yeah, that's. I just believe in that. Like black folks. I mean, other races do this already, so why can't we do it? We should be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but the stereotype with black businesses.
But like I said, you get a lot of the same treatment. You know, when you go to these huge white corporate, well, not white corporations because there's black people there, but you know they're the ones getting most of the money. So you go through this everywhere. So my thing is, if I'm going to really support somebody, I want to support my own. If I want to put it back into my own community, I just think that's important. I think it's common sense.
Hmm.
I think it's good business. And let me say this, as somebody, I do have my own little business. It's not big. Me and my son started it because I wanted him to have his own funds. And black folks do support now. When I went to my first what you call that, Juneteenth,
Hmm.
honey, we racked up. And the last time we racked up, I mean, black folks will support you.
Is it a certain class of black folks?
It is.
Okay.
I do think so. But you know, at those type of events, like at Juneteenth, I've shared a few of them, but I'm gonna try and share again. There's a lot of drinking. There's concerts. You know, Kiki Wyatt came into town,
Hmm.
so you get us all liquored up. It really don't matter. They want to keep them drinks flowing. The you know, the guys are just buying all types of things for their girlfriends, and so black people spend money. Now that's one thing. We run the economics of the country. We they say we don't have money, but I don't see how, because we spend a lot of money in this country, more
No, I
than
just think we spend it on the wrong things and we
we
don't.
do.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just show it to you. Prayfully, nothing else comes up. Here we go.
Lord. Let
You
me
go
make
ahead.
sure. Let me
You
make sure.
got it.
Okay. Okay. We're safe. Okay. We're safe.
Okay.
Okay.
We are back, y'all. Back at Looking Glass Falls, one of my favorite waterfalls in North Carolina. Isn't that
Oh,
beautiful?
that's nice.
Yeah. So that's the mountains that we go to. There's a bunch of them there. But go ahead,
Okay.
sweetie. I'm gonna find some more pictures.
Nah. Nah. That was pretty much it. Yeah.
I know y'all ready to go to bed. Let me show you my.
Shit. It's only 7:30 out here. So us West Coast, we I don't go to bed till like 1, 2 in the morning. So
Oh,
'cause I'm usually up editing or watching cheesy 80s flicks films on Amazon Prime. So yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It's like 10:30 here. And I do got to get up for work in the morning, but I want to show you a couple more things. You got anything else for me though?
Um, no, I just this was a wonderful conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I mean, I knew it was going to be good. So yeah.
We get along. I don't know. Super Sly. Now you did fall away from me. I guess after I did the stabbing video, you said you didn't
Yeah,
like that.
listen, I ain't gonna lie, that pissed me off. I'm not
What
gonna say a
did
lie
I
to you
say so? What did I say?
because
Oh, I know what I said. Let me tell y'all what I said that got Super Sly upset. I said, because okay, let me come back and look at y'all because I'm not looking at y'all. All I said was I think you really misunderstood what I was saying. I was saying men should try not to put their hands on women because like I was just thinking the way as a mother and even as my son's father has told him, I hate to keep on talking about the South, but it's different. The
mhm,
culture is different. And in our culture, men do not, respectable men do not put their hands on women. And then there's certain things that, like men paying for dates, that's a man's job. In our
Okay.
culture, that's a man's job. So, it's a man's job to take out the garbage. It's a man's
Yeah.
job to cut the grass. It's a man's job. So, in our culture, men absolutely do not put their hands on women. If a woman is attacking, like I told my nephew, he was fighting with his girlfriend, and I said, you need to, if you have to restrain her and get away from her,
That's
but
not
you
gonna
don't
work.
going
It's not
back
gonna
and
work.
forth there putting your hands on that woman. You don't
That's
do
not.
that. Well, I'm telling him you was not raised that way, and your mother would have wanted better for you. And all it's going to get you is locked up. That if you listen to the whole video, I was saying that it's not worth it. It's not worth it if you got kids for them to see it, and it's not worth it for you to get yourself a record. It's really not worth it. Have some self-control. Try and restrain her. You're stronger than her. Hold her ass down till she out of
Yeah.
breath and leave that situation.
That.
But you don't turn around and put yourself in a situation over what? You know what I'm saying? So I just don't believe that risking your freedom. I think that was the point. Don't risk your freedom losing your temper trying to
I
hit a woman.
I hear you, but that's not. I don't. That's not reality. Like,
I've seen it. I've seen it. And me and my boyfriend have gotten into things, and he'll just be like, chill out. I'll chill out, and we'll separate.
yeah, I'm not
If
gonna.
somebody's that crazy, then you probably shouldn't be with them if you
No,
can't if they
I
can't.
agree, but I'm not. I'm not restraining anybody. I'm not restraining anybody. We're not gonna do that, especially if you pull a knife on me. So
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. Well, my thing is, like, I'm not gonna beat you down because you got a knife. If I could take the knife, I'm gonna take the knife. But I'm still not gonna resort to violence. I just don't think that people should resort to violence. And like I said, that could be because my own history, just all the stuff that I've seen in my family. I just don't think there's ever a reason to. If you can avoid violence at all costs, avoid it. That's all I was saying.
no,
It's
that's
just,
all. It's all good. You're Professor X. You're non-violent. I'm Magneto. I'm for violence, and it's a happy medium.
but y'all, he got mad at me and stopped watching me because of that. Isn't that
Look,
weird?
that shit because I've been a victim of knife attacks, so I know what that's like.
Oh,
So I'm
so
like,
it's no.
maybe man, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, fuck this shit.
He was mad, y'all. Let me tell you, Sly was mad, and he was mad at me when I asked him about his family life, which I know better than to do that now. But I was all up in your business, Sly.
That was a while ago. I barely remember that. I barely remember that. But nah, it's I've had you on for 2 hours, so I know I know it's late there. So um,
Yep, he's kicking me off, and that's fine. I'm trying to find you one picture with my son before I let you go, just so you can see him and in his community boxing. But if I can't find it, I will go. Give me 2 seconds.
no worries, no worries.
Did we get everything out the way, Sly?
I think so. I mean,
Do you
yeah,
have
we
any
covered.
questions about my relationship?
See, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be messy, tea sippy, gossipy. You know, how you handle it is how you handle it. That's how I look at it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and hopefully you learned and apply the lessons to the next one, and yeah, live happily ever after. So do you believe in happily ever after?
Here's my baby, his handsome self. Let me see. This is an older picture, though. I don't think I have anything newer. Oh, Lord. That's my bank information. Hold on. I'm trying to find. What's the chat looking like? What they talking about?
They telling you hurry up, put the picture up.
Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you for showing an interest in the old lady. And let me tell you something. I know your chat is nice, but don't anybody on this internet think about talking about my child. I'll drag the skin off your kneecaps if you talk about my child. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Lord
You
have
will have your name
mercy.
in the title if you
Oh
talk
my
about my
god!
baby.
And I ain't gonna lie, I've pulled way back from posting my daughter because I just know I've seen it go left too many times. I'm like, nope, not gonna do mine like that. So I just don't even, if you
And
catch
that's
your,
so crazy how
yeah,
people. That's really insane. And it's
yeah,
not that you're not proud of them. You just know these people are sick.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and then plus we put our faces on in these cameras.
Oh, you know what? Like people can look up your
Yeah, and
Okay.
we put somewhat our family at risk to a certain extent,
Yeah.
because we have different opinions, and sometimes our opinions don't mesh with it, with the worldly view, and yeah, so
Yeah. I totally. And I can't find it no way. So it might be God, honey, because there's a picture of us together. That's the one I'm trying to find of us on the mountain
yeah.
top.
Soon as we
If
get
you
off,
want to see him, just go to my channel. He's in there somewhere on one of the shorts because we took a picture together on the mountain. Can't find it.
let me go and post your channel for
Oh,
those that want to go lurking, because that's because again, a lot of guys will be over there lurking, be like, let me see what she talking about. So
like I said, it's quite random. Lately I've been doing celebrity news. I've also been cussing folks out, honey, but I'm done with that. If they leave me alone. And oh, you were asking me about the future. I'm gonna be honest, Sly. I think I'm ready to hang up my boots, honey. I think I'm ready to give up YouTube. I'm getting too old. I got
really,
I got a lot to do, a lot that I want to do. My people know that my mom has Alzheimer's advancing. I want to spend my last time hanging out with her. There's a business that I'm trying to get off the ground. There's things I want to do, and I can't do that if I'm spending time on here so much.
okay.
So I think I don't know when, but I think it's coming to that point where old Mahogany honey is going to hang up her bra strap, honey.
If I had a dollar for every time someone said they're going to quit YouTube, and I'm like, a couple years later they come back for whatever reason.
If I come back, I'll come back to play and and drag folks and let them drag me a little bit and then get off of here. But it's been a while and I'm kind of
Okay.
tired. Let the young folks have it.
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Any last words for the folks tonight?
Thank you guys so much for listening, and I just really appreciate you for welcoming me. And if Sly will have me over, I will
Of
gladly come over
course, of
again.
course,
Okay.
of
Are we friends
course.
again, Sly?
We've always been friends. What do you mean?
Well, you was mad about that stabbing video. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
but friends get mad. Okay, it's all good.
okay.
That's what friends
And
do.
yeah, and yeah, I've always liked you. Like that's the thing. I think when I attacked you over on Reg, when you called me a viral cat, I was hurt. My feelings was hurt because I'm like, why is Sly attacking me? I like him. Why is he attacking me like this? And when my feelings get hurt, I start to
It's
lash
all
out
good. No, no, my bad. Yeah, it's that never no malice. Like we're
yeah.
good. We're always good. Always good. So yeah,
Let me ask you a question.
yeah.
Why did you think, and you can tell me the truth, why do you think that I seem to irritate these people in this space so much?
Okay, maybe because you are, would you define yourself as a strong woman?
Mhm,
Strong women tend to either attract or repel people,
mhm,
and there's rarely ever a middle ground. So
mhm,
either they like you or for that, or they hate you for it.
mhm,
And then the times when you do, not say spaz, but when you go off on somebody,
mhm.
whether it's deserved or undeserved, I mean, you got a mouth on you. We can admit that though, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, and then when you go off the way you do, it's like, oh shit, like this is how it could be with her, huh? So people get to thinking
But
like, it's like, oh, I could
they're
be
worried
either.
about themselves, but the people, and they're in there, never spaz on my people that have been like true, never and never would give them the shirt off my backs.
Yeah.
There's so many things, I'm not going to brag, but there's so many things that I have done, and I'm proud to say I've done. I feel good doing it. Makes me feel like a good person that I've done for people behind the scenes that people will never know. I've prayed with some of my subscribers,
Okay.
cried and prayed with them on the phone, with my pastor on the phone.
Okay.
I love my subscribers, and I think that's one reason too. When I do get hurt by some of these people, why I am so passionate about it, because it's like, okay, like I have feelings too.
Yeah.
Like, please, you guys are hurting me too. So
Hmm.
it's kind of my way of kind of reacting. Um,
I get it, but no, like hearing you, seeing you, just chilling, calm. It's like, yeah, yeah. But that the one time you cussed old boy, out, I was like, oh lord, oh lord.
recently,
Uh, yeah.
well, yeah,
The little birdie bird guy. The bird's the
well,
word.
yeah, well, it's he talked up under my clothes. Like you can't. like you were saying, there's certain things that are just unacceptable.
Yeah.
And let me just say this, and I'm gonna go. I promise you guys, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
go.
got you good. You good. You good.
I One reason I got upset about the language in that Warren situation, and I felt like it created an environment, which it was already an environment. And you talked about the toxic environment.
Hmm.
Words were being used in the chat. When I talk about men, I don't need to say these niggas necessarily. I can say these men.
Hmm.
But it became these bees and these hoes. And I'm not even talking about just him. I'm just talking about that type of thing. If we let it go on and we let it be quote unquote normal, then all it puts all the women in the space, whether they're in the chat room or on the panel, at risk for being disrespected. And Mahogany Roots will absolutely not be disrespected, not without consequences of this mouth. Period. So anyway, it's been wonderful.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed you too.
So we'll definitely be in touch, and we'll get some stuff going in the future.
I hope so. Don't lie to me now. It's been
I
2 years.
really, and here we are.
Yeah, this
So
long.
now it won't be that long. It won't be that long again. I
Now
promise
you
you. So
you want me to break you? Well, we'll talk about that later.
okay, for sure.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All right, hun. Whee! Hey! Shout out to Mahogany. Wow. Okay, that was a fun. That was fun. That was fun. And I thank y'all for coming through. All the super chats. I apologize, because I don't be playing the sound when people on and stuff like that. But yeah, homeboy was bugging with the super chats. Like, come on, bro. Like, nigga, like, what is this shit? Like, why are we doing this? Like, I don't understand. Come on, man. This is what we say. The toxicity in the chat, like, is there's really no place for it at this point. My channel does not fester that type of stuff. So no, that's we don't do that here, man. But I appreciate everybody nonetheless. See, the fuck, J Jermaine, thank you for the 5, brethren. And Jay and Bray J, thank you for that. He said incel gets swallowed up by the older women SPE content goes down. So yeah, Tasha, thank you again. So I appreciate everybody that came through. I enjoyed the conversation. Hopefully you guys did as well. So I'm gonna, what is it, 7:45? I think I'm gonna go back to the gym. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the gym for another workout. So with that being said, I will catch y'all later. Sexy Red, be good. Okay, I'm watching you. Be good. Okay. All right. With that being said, I'm out of here. Oh my gosh, brethren, bro, it's the principle of the thing. I don't want people being. I don't bring people on here to get attacked. Troll is one thing, a roast is one thing, but not just. Come on, man. No, I don't do that over here, bro. So, with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Once again, thank you to the lovely Mahogany Roots. I will catch y'all later. Peace.